I like them nasty, real nasty, yeah. She like me, I'm nasty. I like her, she nasty, yeah. I like them nasty, nasty. 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 Real nasty. I like them nasty, 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 nasty. I like to jump in that pussy and suck on them fingers. I promise you, girl, I don't miss. Squeeze on that ass while I rub on your asshole. While you motorbike up on the dick. Suck on my dick and I give you a kiss. Guess I'm a nasty little bitch. I'm with the shit, yes, I'm with the shit. If you fucking with me, then you fucking a bitch. I know some little booties who nasty. I got some big booties who nasty. This who I go to when I won't be happy. Cause they nasty, nasty. I like a bitch, you go do what I tell her. Suck on that dick in some freezing cold weather. Play with that pussy right there in the car. Fuck all that rubber, she want that dick raw. She got that dick.
And everything about what's gon' take a kill, nigga. All you really need is 7 pounds of pressure.
They gon' wanna talk about it. Fucking pressure. Watch out.
All the dollars in the world in bank account, they're gon' amount to the 7 pounds of pressure.
Let's talk about motherfucking pressure then. Fuck pressure. Let's talk about it.
I put a hole in the whole motherfucker, I ain't feel shit. I'm a beast, I'm a lion, better pray I don't empty that clip. Niggas be out here lying, talking about they killers and shit. Little Mississippi murder might still be blood on my shirt. Same nigga I see off in the club, same nigga gon' be in the hearse. Might catch that pussy nigga outside, put his ass in the dirt. I done seen so many niggas die and some niggas deserve it. I keep that 45 on my left side, nigga making me nervous. I got the 7 pounds of pressure, 7 pounds of motherfucking pressure. All it takes is just a second. Yeah, I got that 7 pounds of pressure, 7 pounds of pressure on the dresser. All it takes is just a second.
Everything about what it's gon' take to kill a nigga. All you really need is 7 pounds of pressure. All the dollars in the world in bank account, they're gon' amount to the 7 pounds of pressure. Everything about what it's gon' take to kill a nigga. All you really need is 7 pounds of pressure. All the dollars in the world in bank account, they're gon' amount to the 7 pounds of pressure.
Hot nigga with a cold soul, bitch, the realest it get. And I ain't running from shit. Remember I couldn't pay rent, so I run up in your shit instead of stay on my bitch. And I ain't gon' stay on my bitch. Rather hit me a lick. Now nigga get rich. They ain't no murder, ain't playing. About to fall out my niggas, about shit they saying. Ain't no heaven for no thug, nigga, ain't no use to me praying. But only God can judge me, nigga, what the fuck is you saying? Yeah, I got the 7 pounds of pressure. Yeah, I got the 7 pounds of pressure. 7 pounds of motherfucking pressure. All it takes is just a section.
Everything about what it's gon' take to kill a nigga. All you really need is 7 pounds of pressure. All the dollars in the world in bank account, they're gon' amount to the 7 pounds of pressure. Everything about what it's gon' take to kill a nigga. All you really need is 7 pounds of pressure. All the dollars in the world in bank account, they're gon' amount to the 7 pounds of pressure.
Tell me, if you came up from the mud, they label you as a thug, selling dope and shooting slugs, washing off a nigga blood, get killed up, be a killer. I'm cold-hearted and wicked. Is this the life that I'm living? Falling victim to a culture we sinning like we supposed to. Them demons keep getting closer. A product of young vibe. Thuggin' ain't no retirement. Knowing I'm living wrong, I'd rather be dead and gone. Now tell me everything about what it's gonna take to kill a nigga. All you really need is 7 pounds of pressure. All the dollars in the world in your bank account are never gonna matter to the 7 pounds of pressure.
Everything about what it's gon' take to kill a nigga. All you really need is 7 pounds of pressure. All the dollars in the world in bank account, they're gon' amount to the 7 pounds of pressure. Everything about what it's gon' take to kill a nigga. All you really need is 7 pounds of pressure. All the dollars in the world in bank account, they're gon' amount to the 7 pounds of pressure.
That's all the fucking tape. Get your ass on up out of here. You don't want to feel that pressure.
Fireworks that light up for me. In my fingertips, I burn. in the back, who should I shotgun? Yeah. To the left or the right, long as it rotates. It's a bisexual bond, it can go both ways.
Hot box, why you hit the box top? Get you to the top rock, but if it's a lie, I can take it from you. Got nothing but that gas, pass it and pass it back off. You don't need a mask, it's that shit you smoke too.
Two fireworks that light up for me, and more fingertips I burn my worries. Doing something like that 8-track shorty. Keep it in rotation, this is celebration every time we start.
Smoke, now we just need a lighter. That body out, you got that earth, wind, and fire. If you know how to roll, then come be my supplier. Up in the clouds, we get high like Mariah. Hot box, why you hit the box top? Get you to the top rock, but if it's a lie, I can take it from you. Got nothing but that gas, pass it and pass it back off. You don't need a mask, it's that shit you smoke too.
Let me hit that pipe before the pipe, or you can use a candle just to make a blind light for you. Let's end this night on a high note. You go and then I'll blow. Let me set the mood right for you. Baby, can we slow? Baby, can we slow?
It's beautiful outside. Looks like it's raining money made. It's beautiful outside. Looks like it's raining money made.
Say what's up to the broke nigga at the rich party. Who the fuck let this nigga in? Do it look like I give a fuck? Sorry. Looking at these hoes and they go, nigga gorgeous trying to get me. I run game on a bitch in 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Flint nigga in the spot till they pop one, then the cops come like, woo. Motherfuckers hold a shotgun like a pop gun, then they ready like, yeah. Civic good nigga, I'm a northside nigga till I'm gone. Woo. Do it for the ones in the hood, like kinda gone, put the city on. Wait, fuck that shit, nigga, fuck that shit. Got this for my hood, look, this for my block. Ride for the hood, gotta spit it like pop. Ain't got shit, but I still feel good. Nigga can't take what a nigga don't got. Go hard in the paint, you can tell them post up. Homie in the hood, like, let me hold some. Your mans in the hood talking all that shit. When they ran up on them, little buddy froze up. All they be talking, but they saying nothing. Niggas be talking that ain't what they want. Ain't no fake shit around here, cause my nigga, my city is really as real as the fuck. I be killing this shit, I ain't giving a fuck. You loving the bitch, she get hit in the truck. You think it sound crazy, this how I grew up. So this for my people who still in the cup.
Want that, need that.
nigga wearing all black at the white party. And I'm looking like I don't give a fuck, just how I get down, nigga, sorry. And I'm looking like I don't play no games, nah, nigga, don't try me. Been that nigga that'll spin that, pay dues like a motherfucking hobby. If you on that bullshit, nigga, better fly that shit right by me. Came from the bottom of this bitch and made it out of that shit, and that's why we on top of this motherfucking world. Damn, look at that body. She come along with the territories. Turn around, move it for me, bend it over, end the story.
Seems like chasing papers what's important to you.
Got a relationship with that money,
but that bitch will never be faithful to you.
Even though I know she crazy.
Please just let it go, see it's no saving you.
Come on, ride, till the motherfucking wheels fall off of this bitch.
What you do for the love?
But I'm never stopping my profit.
These numbers don't lie, but your love is superficial. It's the simple shit you
need to pay attention to.
Want that, need that, beautiful evil man. I said I want that, need that, beautiful evil man. It's beautiful outside, looks like it's raining money made. It's beautiful outside, looks like it's raining money made. Want that, need that, beautiful evil man. Get it? I said I want that, need that, beautiful evil man.
Welcome to the Playground After Dark. This is your one-stop shop for all questions, answers, and matters of that real shit. Make sure them kids ain't around, your auntie can't hear us, and granny can't see. Unless grandma a freak, 'cause it all goes down at the playground.
You came with that ice.
We here. We didn't bring no ice for nobody
I'm so
else.
jealous. Don't rattle
absolutely.
the cup. It just made my mouth
See, I
water.
had a cup of ice that melted. I'm really upset over here.
How dare you?
But you know, it is what it is. So, just so y'all know, it's past 7:30. I do not have to behave whatsoever.
I see.
You are a victim, so it is what it is. But
Not a
we are
victim.
here. Welcome to the Playground After Dark. This is your one-stop shop for all questions, answers, and matters of that real shit. Make sure those kids ain't around. Oh, you good. Your auntie can't hear us, and grandma can't see. Unless grandma's a freak, because it all goes down at the playground. But we got that lady. How you doing, Lady Ivy?
Today has been a day.
Today has been a day. Is one of them kind of days been daying?
Yeah, the day's been daying.
Okay. Well, you're here. Oh, I didn't open that for you.
But on the bright
Look at
side,
that
my cousin is one of those grannies. She
Your
is
cousin a
mama
granny?
now, and she only 30.
Now you right around the corner then.
Ooh. That's what I like. Mikey is
Your turn.
14 and 10, so I'm not.
They-
Her daughter is of legal age. She's 21 years old.
14 is able to
But
reproduce?
He's the cutest little thing. Gosh. Doc.
Huh?
Do not make me say stuff that will incriminate myself. Don't do that.
You always do anyway.
But no, he is the cutest little thing, and he's just so fat. I'm gonna show you. He's just so chunky. His name is Asani.
Asani. Like the water without the D? Never mind, I'm stuck. Let me see.
What's
I'm
wrong?
sorry.
You know, black
so
people
sorry.
be
I'm so
sensitive
sorry.
about their baby.
Right, I'm about to get shot after I walk out here. Let me
His
shut
dad is
up.
Hispanic.
Okay, I was
well.
going to say it sounded like
But
African.
he's the cutest little baby. Like, babies be giving me baby fever until I realize that they become big like the ones I have.
You got teenagers yet? You got teenagers?
I got a 14-year-old and a 10-year-old, and my godson's birthday is Sunday.
I was going to say I got baby fever until I realized I got to give up my nights again. I'm good. I'm
I had
Y'all
the grandbaby.
depressing me.
I gave birth to the grandbaby, so my babies didn't have to have no babies.
So you just called it the grandbaby. You the baby. You the
It's my
grandbaby
baby,
now.
but I'm
There's such
don't
an
bring
age
no
gap,
babies
yeah.
here. I had a baby.
You making them raise it?
Yeah. Oh, they babysitting definitely.
Look,
that's
okay.
the birth control.
So tell me if I'm crazy.
Say it's not. Say I did that with my
No, that's the birth control.
Yes, and it works. When I had my 8-year-old, my 22-year-old was 14. I think she was 14. Listen, I got a 6-year-old too, honey child, and I got a 24-year-old. Yeah, and a 22-year-old. I got 6 of them actually here on this earth. 6 of them.
Okay, so with you just saying that you had to give up your nights, tell me if I'm crazy for this, cause I'm in that stage. Like I've been wanting to have a baby for a long time. So what's so wrong with like having a baby and just giving it to me? You can keep your nights.
No.
The only thing is, like, babies, they're not dumb. They know you ain't mom. They can smell you.
Well, what's wrong with having an all-time dad?
Because what tends to happen is those babies know mom once they come out the womb. Okay, this is mom. And it was like that with my ex-husband. He can hold her all he wanted to. Give her the bottle, give her my milk in a bottle with my shirt on. She's like, yeah, that's nice, Doc. Where's my mama?
Damn.
And we'll cry until she got me. Now,
I don't
of course,
feel that should happen to a certain age.
Yeah.
So, but ideally, like, the whole thought basically says that you're not staying with this woman. That's what that says. Initially.
We're in St. Louis. Who stays together?
Who
has babies and stays together?
Maybe that's a change in the conversation.
Wait a minute.
What?
Wait a minute.
What?
What do you mean? Who has babies and stayed together?
Okay, is anybody in this room still with the person they've had babies with? Raise your hand. All right. So 4 out of 4, we're batting a 0. 4 out of 4, we're batting a 0.
That don't mean we had our
That's all I'm
babies
saying.
and was like, you know what?
That's all I'm saying. The end result is the same either
whole
way.
Marriage route and was married for over 23
I did too.
years. So it is what it is. But
me too.
But that doesn't mean, just because it's not doing what it should do, don't mean you should go ahead and ride the broken bicycle. Find a new bicycle.
I'm just saying, I can have a baby and be happy.
No, so ideally, like I've thought about
like 50
this long
Cent
and hard,
said, have a baby, my
after-
B and be a millionaire.
Especially after going through a divorce. I've literally tried to sit down and I've prayed and I fasted to get some of the answers. And the first thing where we mess up is God never intended for everybody to be married.
That's a fact. Too many women and not enough men.
No. Besides even that, marriage is a gift from God.
Everybody ain't
so
qualified.
Everybody ain't supposed to. You're not a wife just because you want to be married.
Facts.
You're not a husband just because you want a wife.
Facts.
That don't make you a husband or a wife.
I'm bad at relationships, so just give me the baby.
But you know what though?
But literally, that ain't what you're supposed to be doing.
No.
If you ain't married, do you know what you're supposed to be doing?
Not having sex at all?
You're supposed to be serving God and doing what He wants you to do. And that does include not having
supposed
sex.
to be doing that if you're married
so
too, though.
that's why everything is messed up. Because a whole bunch of people decided on their own without God's blessing that they was going to get married. So now you done brought this baby into confusion.
Absolutely.
And then wondering why it ain't working out. Like, no, you was wrong from jump.
So,
no.
I'm in my situation. The church is why we got married.
Okay, can I pause you right there?
Listen,
We're going to pick up right there. Okay, so ironically, I did automatically name today's conversation God and Relationships. Wow. So I'm glad we're taking that automatically. Right. He is in the building. So before we move on forward, I just want to say thank you for our guest today, Shantae Nicole. And Rachel. I'm just going to call her Rachel because I don't know, can't remember her last name. Johnson. Okay, it was I knew it was a J. I was going to say Jefferson like a mother.
Nah.
All right, thank y'all for coming in. We're going to get a little bit more into what y'all do and where y'all come from. But Lady Ivy, go ahead and pick up with why is the church the reason y'all got married? They said y'all ain't going to be up in these pews fornicating. What happened?
No, because they have a way of making you feel bad about certain things.
About cohabitating.
So we were. I mean, I had first of all, my ex had already proposed to me. That went fast. Like it was like first date, next day, girlfriend. Like that went fast. So let's just be clear with that. He had already proposed, but we were waiting to actually get married. We went to church one day and they said, if it's something you should be doing, if it's something you're doing and you shouldn't be doing, God gonna let you know. You're shacking up. That's the first thing they said. You're shacking up.
And you felt convicted.
You shouldn't be doing it. You're having babies out of. I'm like, damn, we 2 for 2.
Now,
because I was pregnant.
They done got me like that too, and I done got baptized out of nowhere. I was not expecting to get dipped in them people water that day. I just came to church, and next thing you know, I'm in the pool. Like,
now,
Kevin, we supposed
I'm like, can I call somebody? I want somebody.
So
I was a guest.
Like the church has a way. That's why, like, I'm not really religious. That's one of the reasons why I'm not really religious now. Don't get me wrong, I believe in God. I love God. Me and God, we here.
You sure?
Yeah, I
or
call
you just
God's
think out
spirit
there?
off. Like, we have deep conversations. Like,
Okay, I'll talk to you and handle that.
Like, am I getting on your nerves? You can stop me if I'm getting on your nerves. Like, I'll talk to God. Like,
He
I'm
was like,
talking to
continue, my
friend,
child.
like, on the side of me. But I'm not religious. Outside of studying history of religion in college and everything, like, I'm just not religious because of the guilt the Christian church likes to push on you. Like, they good for, like, they ram it in there. I had just lost my babies and was going through some things with my ex. We was split up for, like, I think the first or second time. I really don't remember. We split up a lot of times before we got to this point. But I had someone tell me, you should talk to this person about being a Christian wife because you are not following what God has planned. And I'm like, so me being happy ain't what he got planned. I'm just supposed to stay here and be.
You in my business?
She's like, you need to go talk to this person. Now, this person that had been going through some things for way longer than I had been going through some things. So I'm like, you know what? This isn't really the place for me. Because we can do religion all day long, but you're not going to trump my rational thinking.
That be the thing. Like, when it comes to single parenthood, as a woman, you could see my sin in the church. But it could be a congregation full of single
Everybody
daddies.
sinning.
But because they don't have them kids with them, you can't judge them accordingly. So I went to a church kind of like that. I ain't going to call it by name. Look, I ain't going to say no names. But I was saved and sanctified for 3 months. Do y'all hear me? Like, I was filled with the Holy Ghost. I wasn't cussing. I wasn't drinking. I wasn't smoking. I only listened to Gospel 1600. I was going to church 3 and 4 times a week. Do you hear me? I was in the church.
So you was perpetrating. I understand.
No, I wasn't perpetrating. I wasn't perpetrating. Like, and then when I started bringing my kids to the church,
You get that
they
side
start
eye.
flipping the script on me.
You
Like,
get that side eye. Like, it's
and my kids ain't dirty. They ain't like they well
It's
kept for like.
It's not what they did say. It's what they didn't say.
It's what
But
they didn't say.
They like, but at mom,
When
but
I got
mama
pregnant
at home.
with my daughter, me and my ex were not married yet because we, like I said, we moved fast. We went on the first date in March. Shoot, by the end of May, I was pregnant. Like, we fast.
Yeah, that's fast.
Speedy Gonzalez fast. And when I went before, when I was in the clear, because all my pregnancies have been high risk. When I was in the clear, and I went before them, and I went to the pastor, and I was like, okay, look, so here's the thing. I'm engaged, but I'm pregnant. And they was like, well, you're not married. I said, but I'm engaged. They was like, yeah, but you're not married. But go before the church and apologize.
And see,
Hold on. I thought it said something about a child born out of wedlock.
Hold on, wait a minute. They said go before the church and apologize, and everything will be cool. And I was like, wait, hold on, excuse me. And
So
they was
these
like,
people that
yeah,
don't pay my bills?
you just gotta apologize to the church. Why I gotta apologize
To
to
them
the
people
church?
that ain't gonna whip my ass.
Sound like
These
Illuminati.
people ain't gonna pay a bill, ain't
Right.
gonna buy a pamper, ain't gonna, like, why am I apologizing to these people? I was like, yeah, nah,
But I
I'm
thought that
good.
is kind of what the church do.
I called my ex, I was crying. He
That's
was
what you
like, if
thought.
you don't want to do it, don't do it.
Don't
I'm
tithe
not.
one Sunday.
Well, here's the thing. Like, so I want to back up just a little bit, and I want to challenge your thoughts or your what you shared about God marriage not being for everyone and God not wanting marriage. I would challenge that and say He does.
I'm not saying that God doesn't want marriage, because He definitely wants it. He definitely wants it. He gave us instructions on how to be married. Yeah, so He definitely wants that. But He did not say that everybody was supposed to be married.
Yeah, no, He didn't
He
say.
actually said, he who finds a virtuous woman finds a good thing and favor with the Lord.
Yes.
So, how many men ain't experiencing no favor?
Well, now you have to ask the question why. But here,
That's not the only way you can get favor.
That is not the only way you can get favor.
It ain't the only way.
But here's the thing, like
But a lot of us married to the wrong people.
Yes, but here's the thing, though. Yeah, I do think that marriage is for everyone, but we get to choose. We get to choose whether or not we want to engage in that. So Paul, he chose not to be married, and he chose the walk of the missionary field and doing what he did. Now, if your level of maturity, your level of trauma, your level of understanding impacts your ability to be in a marriage, and yeah, no, you shouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, but see,
Now
the
that,
whole thing is people don't be morally upstanding within themselves. So how dare you? You know you a liar, a cheat, a crook. Why you out here looking for a good woman? If you don't go find your equivalent,
You know why? You know why? Because even in my brokenness, I need somebody to soothe it. I need a Band-Aid. I'm not willing to get it fixed, but I need a Band-Aid.
That's the only person putting Band-Aids on people.
Let's break down this PTSD thing you described earlier, because it seems to be something you really suffer from. Like
we all do.
We all.
Oh,
how?
yes.
Okay.
Everybody.
Explain.
We all do. We all, like us. One of the issues with the play, I say that America has a mental illness.
Well, no, I thought you were talking about relationship wise, from men approaching you in a gas station.
So even it goes even back to further with you being a kid. Those relationships as a child set you up for your relationships in the future as an adult. Yes, very much so. You can't tell me that, like, a lot of single parent households, this is what, I did not want to be this single mother, but I get it and I understand now. I always kept myself open for love. I had my first baby at 23. I had my second baby at 28. My first baby daddy, I've known him since I was 7. We went to elementary school together. We reconnected in our early 20s. We were together for some years and had this baby. My second daughter, I'm not even going to explain that. That the last one was within a marriage. So it's not like I wasn't thoughtful. Like, these weren't one night stands or, anything like that. I was pretty, for the most part, thoughtful. But it didn't work for one reason or another. Now, instead of me focusing on the relationships and finding somebody to love and fill those voids that I had from my childhood in my early 20s, I should have turned that inward. But because my relationships that I had around me as a child left voids and me seeking things, trauma bonding,
I can understand
all of that plays a part into mental illness. Now, when you are in a toxic relationship, you don't see the wounds that a person causes to you, but you feel that shit deeply to your core. And some people never recover from that. They will see that person that did that wrong to them in every single person that they come across. And they try, this is how you get the girls who, no matter what guy they get with, they beat their ass. Or the guy who beat on every girl that he be with. Because 9 times out of 10, he may have seen his mother getting abused. Any of that. The girls may have been seeing their mother getting abused. Then you have that special set of mothers who say, I'm not going to have nothing to do with men. I'm not going to bring no man around. I'm not going to do none of that. I'm just going to focus on my babies. I'm going to go to work. They not going to see me in no relationship. She still might get her back blown out every now and then. But them kids not going to see it. Ain't no man coming to the house. Ain't no man calling the house. Like, none of that. Both of them are not teaching their children how to have healthy relationships.
Yeah.
Okay, but
now I would like to add, kind of piggyback on that just a little bit and kind of answer into the PTSD piece of it. There is a term in psychology called general anxiety. And so just to make it kind of a simple idea, you go to the dentist, they wear a white coat, and then they cause pain. You now associated that pain with that dentist. So no matter what dentist you see from that point forward, you're going to have pain. So now I'm afraid when I see you that I'm going to cause pain. Now with that being said, so picking back on what she did, if I have a negative experience with a man, and then I do not access any resources to undo my attachment to their decision, I will then associate my experience with them. And now I'm leery of every single person that carries that gender because I'm not certain now if you're not going to behave any differently than this person. And then it becomes customary because I still need love and I want love. So now although I have a PTSD as it relates to you, I am still going to engage with you and cross my fingers that you're going to do better, even though I didn't get new knowledge on to pick better. And I know that's a really sensitive thing.
Okay, now you're getting where I'm headed.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. I can't pick good apples from a bunch of rotten apples. So we cannot sit here and then say, hey, listen, if I take a rotten apple and I dip that sucker, you ever seen like an apple that's really bruised?
Yeah, you put in the candy and the chocolate and the foil.
You put that candy and chocolate into candy. Can you see the bruising?
Right.
Do you know it's messed up?
Not until you bite into
it. That woman biting into it is either accepting an engagement, trusting that
she's going to try to eat around the bad part.
Hear me out on this.
Some just straight eat it because the chocolate tastes good. I can't.
At this point, you here
because they used to eat wine.
At this point, you're there,
and then we're and then women are psychologically taught, and this is the piece where the church keeps, bless them, getting it wrong. They're introducing too much secular into the concept of what marriage is. Then we teach women that we're supposed to endure and persevere. You know, God hates.
You're the strongest.
God hates divorce.
So.
And we understand now that while, yes, women do perpetrate divorce more often than not, we understand why that is psychologically. Well, if you want to jump into that, I'll jump in that too. But when we sit here and we tell women, we're literally teaching the women, some churches, not all, some churches and people are teaching women that in order to be loved, respected, and valued, you have to be hated, disrespected, and unvalued. Make it make sense.
Okay. Mm-hmm. To rebuttal that part before I get back to what you said, if you feel that that's what it's teaching women, there's got to be a part of it that's telling men somewhat of the same thing.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
but guess who?
We all got to go through that. No, we're not going to go that deep. No, we're not going there. We're not going there.
But here's the thing, though. You can't get away from it. You can't set up a system where mom is home, taking care of the kids, and that should be an honorable thing. I go out and I do what I need to do. I go to work, woo. But my reward is I get to move and do how I want to do because you have no power to do what you need to do that makes you happy, make you safe. So because you have no power to fix your situation, I can continue to take advantage of your weakness. And now that we've got to a place to where women are no longer in that space.
I don't really agree that.
Okay.
Because I always go back to this one example of that.
Go ahead.
Dr. Dre. When he got divorced, he had to pay his wife $230,000.
Dr. Dre was abusive to every woman that he done ever slept with.
We're not.
That's why he paid that.
You're taking it a whole nother direction.
I took it a whole nother direction.
When Dr. Dre got divorced, he had to start paying his wife $236,000 something a month.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
They were together for 20-something years.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
My whole believing is, house husband, housewife, whatever. When you get with somebody, your situation works for you and that person.
Mm-hmm.
So 20 plus years while they together, she needed to be having her own bank accounts, her own hustles, her own
So
investments.
now that's
She had all that because she was a lawyer. So let's be clear.
So,
but here's the thing,
so
though.
I feel like it's like there's value in taking care of the house.
But here's the thing, though. The problem with that concept is we're now having to have this conversation where women have to have a backup, and it should never be that way.
I feel like it should be part of the marriage institution.
You know why? You know why you feel that way? Because men keep letting women down.
Okay, well, let me go back to my other example because this is going to tie my point.
Ahead,
because one thing that kind of stuck out with that is choices to me. With your examples, choices. Real life example. My stepfather has been in my life since before I can be aware of people. So he's basically been there since I was a baby. I remember moving into the household with him when I was about 4 years old. Him and my mother actually got married when I was about 9. So I grew up in a 2-parent household, essentially, my whole life. Not saying, not even worry about my real father's relationship, because that man is my dad, as far as I'm concerned. Moving forward, I still have to go out and interact with the people that I meet. So having a great example doesn't guarantee or discredit that I'm going to have that type of relationship myself.
My first baby daddy got a 2-parent household.
But
his
wait a
parents
minute.
were together for 20 plus years.
Having a 2-parent
So having a single, so
no, that's not
those
a guarantee.
choices. So having being raised by a single mother, I don't feel directly correlates to someone.
So why do we blame single mothers for everything?
I feel like that's
it's
a
a
scapegoat.
common sense thing.
I feel like it's a scapegoat.
It is an absolute scapegoat.
Because the thing about it is, you can take a person who was raised in a single mother household, right? All they got is their mama. But it's the healthiest relationship they've ever experienced. So they go on and they prosper. But you have a person who was raised in a 2-parent household full of toxicity, and they be the worst humans. You know, women, so here's the thing, women usually go...
That's because they never choose to change. They don't choose to change.
Men will go into a marriage with a plan. If this don't work, fuck it, I'll be done, I'll go find another one. Women don't really... you said she should have had a savings, da-da-da-da. Women don't normally plan for divorce, because when we go into marriage, we go into marriage. This is who I want to do life with. Yeah. So you don't really have a backup plan. It's not until
we don't talk about rich people.
Again, just to stop that, the backup plan, that's why I said she needs to have all of her own, because we all know when somebody die, it's gonna be time before you get hands on that money.
No, not if it's
average Joe. We'll stay married to a person for 5, 6, 7, 8 years and ain't been with them because we can't afford the damn divorce.
But,
so what do you mean plan for the divorce?
So here's the thing. This is what I'm saying.
No, she said plan. I said you should be playing. That should be part of the institution.
Why?
It's not an institution.
You have to put it in your mind what your plan is.
It's a business.
Marriage is a business.
Marriage is a business.
I never planned for a divorce.
Institution.
I never planned to be a single mother. That wasn't.
Nobody
wasn't
does
something
that.
I had. Wait a minute. Some people do.
But
I never planned to be a single mother.
We're talking about people who want to get married.
Wait a minute, and this is no shade to. I love. Let me be clear. I am not against marriage. I plan on getting married again. However, I had to look at the people that I had brought into this world and see what kind of example am I setting for them. I have a 14-year-old daughter. I got a 10-year-old son. If I stay here, I make it okay. You got a lot of men that beat on women to this day because, for like she said, for up until they was grown, they seen their daddy or whoever the male was in their house beating the shit out their mama. Every girl, you ain't clean the kitchen. Bah! Girl, you getting on my nerves. Bah! Like you have that. Not saying that's what I experienced, but saying there are people. So when you start bringing little people into this world, it ain't about you no more. You got to worry about what example are you setting for them, because what you tolerate is what they will live. So with my kids, hold on, wait a minute.
Choices.
No,
Wait
but
a
your
minute, no,
choices.
But you
Because
learn
I see
from
what
your
in my
environment.
I see shit that I'm not going to
But
deal
wait a
with.
minute. What is the saying?
That's
Do
what
as I
I
say,
see.
not as I do. You can't tell that to children because
It
they
don't work.
only see what you're doing. So I have a 10-year-old. I have a 10-year-old son. I have a 14-year-old daughter. If that's how old they are now, I've been separated since 2022. If I sat in what I was sitting in, I would. It's the nonverbal cue telling them this is okay. It is okay not to smile. It's okay to lay in the dark every day.
I have to disagree
You
with
can't-
that again
but
because
but
every example I've seen of
But
kids
that's
talking
as
about
you
their
said.
mother getting beat did not repeat that cycle.
No,
But
they didn't repeat that
They
cycle.
didn't repeat
That's
that
not
cycle,
true.
but you, if
So
you
they
look,
didn't
they
sit
did
and
a
accept
cycle
it.
No,
Nobody's
of
gonna stop
toxic
and accept
behavior. Some type of toxic behavior.
And it's that part.
And I'm gonna finish this, and then I'm gonna tell you a test I just recently done. So with that being said, I had been living in my own house for less than a year when my son walked in on me watching TV and laughing. And you know what my son said? And he was
It's
like
good to see
9.
you laughing.
No, he said, "What are you doing? You don't watch TV. You don't laugh." I was on the phone with the guy that I was dealing with at the time, laughing, and he was like, "You don't laugh. What is this?"
When I left my
That
husband, the same thing.
You've put into that child's head that what you were doing, what you were tolerating, was normal. So now
They just know it's your routine.
No,
They know it's you.
So
Now
no,
you are.
No,
You are-
So
you are like-
Who else
in
they
that-
gonna be looking at?
But
Listen,
that don't mean that they're
listen.
gonna accept it in their life.
Listen.
Yes, they will.
Because listen,
Yes,
so
they will.
You put that into their head that what you were dealing with was normal. So when you start to do the actual normal shit, it's abnormal to them. And I'm gonna tell you why this is.
So wait,
I'ma
stop.
tell you-
Let me stop
okay.
you. Let me stop you. So you saying, who is this? Your son?
Yes.
That walked in. So does your son watch TV and laugh?
but she wasn't laughing at the TV. She was laughing at
I
the
was
conversation.
laughing at a
yeah.
conversation I was having.
But
with
the
a
stuff
male.
that he called you out for doing,
He was
that's
laughing
the
at-
stuff that he saw you doing. Does he do those kind of things?
Yes.
So what he saw you does not
Okay,
portray
so
what
I
he's gonna
It made it
do.
abnormal to him for me to
No,
do
it's
it.
because
No.
your
As an-
behavior
which as
changed.
an adult,
He noticed your
Well,
behavior
this is-
changes.
This is what I'm saying. So, case in point, and I'm gonna get into this. I took a test last night. It's an attachment. It's an attachment test. It tells you what type of attachment you have. You answer like, I think it's like 20-some questions, and they tell you what type of attachment you have, and it explains a lot. If you were ever to take the test, and this is when I say this because I know people watching gonna be in their feelings. Put them in your fucking back pocket. This is my experience, and this is what I'm dealing with, or what I've dealt with. So, if you don't like it, just leave right fucking now. With the test, when I got my results of the test, it explained so much about my personality. And then I sent it to the guy I was dealing with and said, take this. And we tested we have the same attachment issues. What it said was we have a fear of abandonment.
Most
So
people do.
we hold on to people. No. There's a different thing. There's a difference of I don't want you to go. There's a difference between I don't want you to go
So
and
where I
allowing
put
your
up with
boundaries to be
anything
crossed, or
to
not
not
having any
let you.
boundaries at all because in your mind everybody leaves.
Yeah.
We both we were both two people who grew up as children who went unheard. We grew up as children that if we expressed our emotions or expressed how we felt, in my case, it was called being dramatic, or you doing too much, or that don't make no sense. So, or you talking back. I was told when I was 13, I was negative because I expressed how I felt about a certain situation. My dad died. People were talking about my dad after he died in a negative way because I put a stop to that shit. At 13, I was told I was negative and should consider my mom's feelings. Excuse me, 13-year-old that lost her dad 2 weeks before school started. So when I took the test, everything made so much sense on why I am how I am, why he is how he is, because we were two people that grew up unheard. Two people that grew up in, because here's the thing, people will say all day, you was in church, oh, this is that, so you had the perfect upbringing, and this and that. Man, toxicity comes in different forms. So I say that to say, when you deal with relationships, what you accept is more likely somewhere of you wanting to be a people pleaser. It's something, everything you go through in your, and not everything, because everything that goes along the way, but a lot of the shit you go through in your adulthood stems from what you witnessed or what you went through as a child. And then everything starts to pile on. Okay, I got the first toxic relationship. Oh, that's okay. He'll go on his way. Okay, I got the second toxic relationship. Okay, that's okay. He'll go his way. I find it. You find yourself getting older, and society tells you, well, when you get to this point, you should be starting a family. You should be doing this. You should be doing that. This, then the third. So you like, okay, well, shit, fuck it. I'll take it. Oh, he called me out my name. Fuck it. It's just a word. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he just, it's not.
Choices.
Wait a minute. Because at the same point, yeah, these are choices when you're single.
No, choices to sit there and accept that man calling you out your name, sitting him to be bullshit.
When you're single, but when you're conditioned to feel like
love, hopes, all love.
Yes,
but no,
when you're conditioned to think, when you're conditioned to think that a single parent household is wrong, and that a two-parent household is right.
So, I mean,
no matter the circumstances, you hold on to it. No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. Because
it is a choice.
Here's the thing. Because you're talking about you was
it's
mistreated and told that about your father's this and that. Do you treat your kids like that?
I don't.
Exactly.
But
You're making my point.
But no, but I think what should be like.
It's called learning.
Yeah,
and trying not to repeat a cycle.
I talk about that in my book as well. Literally from the time of slavery going forward, there are a lot of things that happen in our behavior that literally has been ingrained in us before we even had a choice. So yeah, where you can say some things are a choice, everything is not.
We gotta get back to that apple.
But I was getting ready to say, so at the end of the day, we do have choices, and I think where you, Doc, I think one place is where it seems kind of difficult to grasp the concept is we're told choices from the standpoint of I get to have A and B, and I'm given ample information about A and B to make an educated choice.
Right.
But what tends to happen is if A and B, that's the. I'm sorry. Let me try that again. The issue with that is if A and B, the choices that I'm given, I'm not educated enough to make the choices that's correct, and or the A and B that I receive looks familiar to what I've been exposed to and experiencing, I'm only going to continue to rehearse that which I've practiced. Kids are extremely elastic. They learn the most when they're a child, and they cannot communicate when they're born. So their learning happens through visual. Body language is 80% of your communication. So if my kids are watching me, like she was saying, always in this space where I'm sad. Yeah. Like she was saying, if she stayed in this depressive state, in this sad state, and her son walks to the door and say, "Oh my goodness, you laugh and you do that, and you do that," it's not because he recognized that laughing is normal. Is that he recognized that I laugh when I'm happy and this, that, and the third. Mom never does. Why doesn't she do that? I'm a child. I'm not going to think no more on that. So when I do see mom laughing, now I am at this place where, why is she laughing? And is everything good? Because you weren't that way because of what you experienced.
That's kind of where we were talking about earlier with the Zodiac thing. So at some point in time, the apple or the anointment just rings off in your head, and you just got to know something ain't right.
Well, hold on.
Like,
wait a minute.
Wait, because we making this point. I'm
finna defuse. So doctors have what they've discovered now, what they call a genetic imprint. Now that can be positive. That can be positive
in the DNA,
or it can be negative. It's in your DNA.
Okay, go.
If while pregnant, your mom experienced trauma, It may be she was crying all the time. It
My
may
baby's
be.
crying
It may
crying
be.
all
It may
the
be
goddamn
all you. It may
It's
be
the
she
crack
was
baby syndrome. I
Wait a
get
minute.
it.
I
It
ain't
may
smoking
be
no
she was
crack.
yelling.
It's the same thing. Things that
It
you
may
go
be-
through
it
pass
may
on
be-
to your kids
yeah,
because
it
it's
may be-
chemically induced.
and she
I
was
get
yelling
it.
all
I
the
get
time.
it. It's biology. She's
It
a
may be
teacher.
she was
Yeah, I
yelling
get
all the
it.
time, or she heard
Yes.
yelling all the time.
That's why you gotta play music when they in the morning.
Wait a minute.
And read to 'em.
becomes,
And not be in abusive relationships.
And not
Thank
be in
you.
abusive relationships. It becomes
choose better.
You can't say 30 years down the line that this child, once this child is grown and doing their own thing, that you chose that, because this was imprinted on them from the time they were conceived. I told my ex when I was pregnant, he had a house full of people when I was pregnant with my daughter. His friend was on the phone and he was yelling at some girl and calling her. This is my first pregnancy. Everybody know your first pregnancy is just like
Ghetto.
yeah, it's like it's the learning stage. So you internalize everything you're taught. And then I had just found out that day, your baby has ears now. Your baby can hear. And he was cursing and calling some girl all out her name. And he was in my house. I said, you want to step your ass outside with that. And he said, bro, you gonna let her talk to me like that? I said, look here. My daughter can hear everything you're saying. It will not be normal for her to hear a man call a woman a bitch. You need to take your ass the fuck up out my house with that conversation. Mm-hmm. I say that to say it's not always a choice when it's already in you before you eat. The choices that are made.
No, it's a choice. Once you recognize
wait a minute.
Once you recognize it, it's a choice.
There are some things that are made for you.
Inherited dysfunction.
But I would like to argue, though, that you do have a choice. I think what we keep dismissing is the information you have to make the choice. If I don't have the adequate information to make the choice, so if all I've ever known and experienced was bad behavior, that's normal. That's normal. I don't care what the world is doing. My best friend could live in a multi-million-dollar house, have the best parents who are serving God, Jesus visit them, and I see them. But if in my household,
Hunter Biden,
it doesn't look like that, that's my normal. And that's how I will begin to view the world. So I'm going to make poor choices because of the poor behavior of choices made for me and modeled for me. So now, the only thing that changes that is encounters. So if I then encounter my best friends, like, I like that. What are you getting to get that? Because I want that. Now my information, because with each new thing
you have to unlearn
learn,
it.
Yeah, because you literally, I know they say we get a wrinkle in our brain. Your brain literally creates imprints in your brain that you can't undo. Like the synapse, like it will stop and it will die off if you no longer feed it.
You can create a whole new track of a line in your brain.
But if my track says women stay no matter what. If my track says...
If you follow that track, you got to break that track.
How am I going to break it?
You have acknowledgement.
How am I going to acknowledge anything that I don't know?
Because here's the thing. It's like, okay.
Because you can't tell me that the people that are in negative situations, that they don't see positive situations and say, yeah, that's better than mine.
Before we twist the narrative on this one a little bit, let me just kind of set this. Let's. I feel like right now we're doing a lot of blaming. Rather it's parents' generational curses, what baby here in your tummy, whatever. We're doing blaming. Let's do a little educating. So a couple of points I want to touch on before I forget is the choices thing.
Yes.
The A and the B.
Yes.
We have to first be aware that you may be presented with A or B, but you always have the option to create your own C and D.
How?
This world.
How?
Especially now, there's a way. There's a way around
it
all.
So let's take that from the perspective of, let's use it from a toxic, negative perspective.
Okay.
Okay. So if I've not seen positivity, and the positivity that I do see is told negative.
That's where I was going next. Okay.
So how can I then, if I'm told, as a black person, we've heard this before, I'm living in an inner city in a poor neighborhood, right? And my father's probably nowhere to be found. If he do show up, he ain't worth about nothing. My mama may or may not have men in and out. I'm seeing all of this negativity. Somebody goes out of the neighborhood, do well for themselves. We chastise that. We say it's bad, horrible. Why would you
look
do
at that corny clown? Yes,
exactly,
absolutely.
So then,
corny clown here.
Exactly. So my choices are: I can follow in the footsteps of my mama and become another statistic. I can follow in the footsteps of the black community and become another statistic and find myself underground or above ground inside of a cell. But neither one of those is going to encourage me to do what y'all just took this person, drugged them to hell. Why would I choose that?
But the first part is exactly how you begun. You listed your father wasn't around, your mother did this, and the acknowledgement. You have to be aware of the situation.
But that's normal.
Once you become aware of it, that's where the choices become.
So you're asking this from a child.
No. I'm teaching. I'm trying to teach. So people who don't have this ability right now, just pay attention and understand how to do it. Be aware of it. Sir, that's the first part. If we don't pass this along, you have to be aware of it, because we asked what's the question we asked earlier? Everybody always question God. They always question God, but nobody question where the fuck zodiac signs come from.
No,
you see what I'm saying? That's just how fucked up people are. We go after what.
No, they taught us. They taught us. Like,
no,
that's all from mythology.
No, people go after the stuff.
No, like I was taught about it.
No,
I even know about the correlations between Christianity and all of the mythology.
I get that. I'm talking about the regular person making choices here.
Right. So what I would like to say on the whole choices thing is that before you even have the choice, you are a child.
Right.
And you literally do what you are told and what you see. I have
to a degree. There's some badass kids out here that don't listen to their parents at all. Let's be real.
But that's a whole nother thing in itself.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, why are they doing the opposite of what their parents? And then you have to admit too, there are some kids who have horrible parents. And they still choose to do good.
Yes, because so the parent is still a child.
We definitely know that is a thing too.
No, I was just saying there's some situations.
But for a lot of us in our community, before we can even get to address the generational trauma or the environmental trauma, we concerned about, damn, I ain't 8 and 9 hours. My stomach is hungry. I don't know if the light's going to be on when I get home, if it's even going to be any food in the refrigerator. So there are a lot of factors that come into place when we talk about surviving that keeps a lot of people from addressing the issues that they have to go from surviving to thriving. And it's a perpetual cycle. And at some point, you do choose. But it usually is a catastrophic event that makes a person choose. For me, what happened was after having my second child, I found myself in a domestic violence shelter. This was in like 2008. I had a U.S. Cellular flip phone. I was in an abusive relationship. I was watching Oprah while I'm pregnant, and she was talking about The Secret and the law of attraction. And Jim Carrey was on there talking about how he wrote this check to himself when he was doing In Living Color for X amount of, it was like $10 million or something like that. Yeah, and it was for like 5 years out. Well, 5 years later, Dumb and Dumber comes out. So he grosses that $10 million. But he didn't know that at that particular time that he was actually going to do, this $10 million. So I'm like, I got to change my life. Like, I've seen this dysfunction. I know that there's better. I've had glimpses of better. I went to private school. My dad raised me as a single parent. My mom raised me for the first half of my life as a single parent. So I have two different completely perspectives of single parenthood. Like, my dad doing it, I went to private school. My dad took me to the symphony. Things like that. My mom, we got food stamps. And it was complete dysfunction. People yelling and cussing. Random people sleeping in my living room. I never saw that. My dad's friends never slept on our couch. Like, they left after a certain hour of the day. When it was time for me to, retire to my room, you got to go. My daughter got to, and it was never more than one friend. It was never a whole bunch of men, and things like that in my house. So it was completely different. So I had to choose. And oddly enough, when I was little, my dad used to make me listen to Les Brown. I thought it was the corniest shit in the world. But here I am, when I get to my 30s, my 20s and 30s, my early 30s, I find myself going back to those things. It's like a light switch, flipped. And then I started to try to undo the trauma that I had done with my life. And of course, that does take acknowledging your part in it and choosing, to do better. But I had to become homeless. I literally left my apartment to get away from my abusive partner. He lived downstairs and I lived upstairs. And went to go stay in the shelter and had my baby in the shelter. And then that's when I started keeping vision boards and literally doing that whole, it takes 28 days to make a new habit and break an old habit. So replacing my bad habits with new and better habits until I started to become the person that I wanted to be. So I essentially went from being the baby mama just on food stamps to the person who is producing a play.
Come on, somebody.
Okay,
put that plug in there. Put that plug in there.
Damn, what's up?
But I would like to say this though, Doc, you are right in an essence that we make choices, and there should be some point. We always get to that fork in the road where we say, okay, the information that I have received, even though I have been exposed to the negative, the information that I have received, is it enough to go forward and change direction? And for some, yeah, you're right, it's not enough to make us change direction. For others, it is. But we're not taught to think critically, and we're not taught to question things.
That's where I'm headed right
and now. We're not taught to rephrase. We're not taught to question the right things.
What we're told is right.
What we're told.
We getting educated. We woke today. So, see, we gonna mix shows. Fuck it. We all up in it. We had entrepreneurs and entertainers earlier. We on the Playground After Dark. We got the Mental Health is Wealth show. So let's touch on that since we're here. Helping out. Since you say it was, in your experience, a traumatic situation that got you to change. So, for some younger viewers who might be experiencing some similar things, can you give some examples of things that they should be able to identify in themselves or their own situations before it gets to that point that they can start to make better choices now?
So, for those of you who do have people in your life telling you, like I have 2 teenagers. I'll just tell you what I tell them. My middle daughter just turned 16. So we're at the point where we want to start dating. We want a job. We want things.
I almost punched my goddaughter's first boyfriend.
Listen.
Oh my God.
I'm truthful. Like, my dad raised me as a single father, right? Okay. So during my teenage years and dating years, I did not date because my dad's rule was, I need to talk to the boy on the phone before you do. And I did not understand. So I said, that is so corny because how do I know if I even like him enough for you to even meet him?
I'm going to determine if you're allowed to like him or not.
Because my 16-year-old brain cannot conceptualize that if this man can't make it past my daddy 9 times out of 10, he ain't worthy enough for me.
Oh. Yeah, this is very good.
So... When your parents telling you focus on school, you got time, they not lying. For one, I could tell you got time because I had my last baby at 39. They say that your stuff don't even work. It do, and it do.
Until you about 40
something. Yeah, and it do. You could definitely. I got a toddler running around here in my 40s.
I got a 50-year-old offered to have my baby last year.
Like no, I would go find something safe to do. Don't. That's not what you want to do.
I thought it was gonna be Down syndrome.
In them early years, the early years are for development.
How that works at all.
We miss that in our community because we're stuck in survival mode. So we don't even know how to do personal development. One thing that I am extremely thankful for in my youth is that I picked up competitive sports. Yes. I played basketball.
Was that your advice? Getting some sports?
No, I'm going to tell you why. It's discipline. What you should be doing in your young days is learning how to develop discipline.
Okay.
Because discipline will allow you to focus, to achieve goals and dreams. But instead, we let our youth run wild instead of honing discipline. I have a 3-year-old now. My 3-year-old, I do something with her that I did not do with them other kids. We do a lot of talking, and I get on her level, on her eye level, and talk to her, and I use her voice. I don't now. Don't get me wrong. I mess up sometimes because I'm not perfect. I'm a parent, and I do get fed up, and then I'm premenopausal as well. So yeah, but
curse it.
I do try to bring it down. But we do rainbow breaths when she gets upset and she's stomping and you need to calm down, take a deep breath in, rainbow breath out. And my 3-year-old does that. That teaches her self-regulation.
Yes.
At 3.
Yes.
How many grown people do you know cannot self-regulate?
A bunch of them.
The earlier you teach your kids discipline and how to self-regulate and handle their emotions and learn how to cope within themselves instead of you fixing everything or them running to outside sources to fix everything. Learn to channel that inner energy.
Yeah.
Take that time for yourself, because literally when we're kids, everything is my friends. I want to go here. I want to go do this. We have created these self-centered, entitled brats that we're complaining about.
Shit.
No, I got on my kids about that.
Like literally,
I wasn't taught boundaries. When I was a kid, I wanted to establish boundaries. I was taught that I was wrong. So now,
in essence, you weren't taught boundaries.
Exactly. Yeah. Now that I'm learning how to establish boundaries myself and how to not let, I tell my kids that all the time. My son, I was like, "Oh, your friend is at JJK with you," but he was like, "Yeah, but he be acting funny because everybody know him." I said, "Oh, okay. Well, school finna start back." He was like, "I know." I said, "Oh no, school finna start back. Make him stand on it. We not giving no passes." When you create boundaries and people cross those, you have to make them stand on it. Oh, you want to act funny with me in public and be my friend in private?
I'm 40 and still having to reinforce that, especially in this entertainment community, because you know what I'm. People will do stuff behind the scenes, and they doing it, but then when they see you, hey sis, and key, and no, I'm gonna need you to stand on all that shit you've been saying behind my back.
But and you getting with
this is St. Louis. You should have known they ain't standing on shit.
Listen, but I do. And then, listen, it's one person in particular. I ain't gonna say their names because I don't want to blow your show down like that.
Look.
But when every time I see they flyer, a random person share a flyer of them on my picture, I do that motherfucker like Brian McKnight. How everybody be getting on his ass under his flyers, I get right on that motherfucker ass. And if you side with him, I'm deleting your ass.
That's why I said you gotta say the name for me.
You want me to say? I have a problem. So Marvin Davis. Comedian Marvin Davis. I'm saying it.
Look. We here at the Playground After
Dark.
Dark.
Me at Sophie's Artist Lounge on March 23rd.
We didn't let the invite be known. When y'all got issues, come sit down and talk to these people. Ain't nobody getting hurt on this show. Y'all can talk it out.
Listen,
y'all can be on opposite sides of the room. We can lock y'all in different rooms.
Now I do want to though answer your question though too, because I think that is a very good question, because we still come from generations that are not being able to demonstrate healthy relationships and boundaries and all that fun.
Sir.
So
I had like 5 drinks.
So as I'm gonna sit out there, so I'm a born again spirit-filled Christian. So I'm gonna throw this out there in what I would tell young people, whether or not you are a Bible believer or not, that understanding your purpose, you have to find it. It's in you. There's too many outlets in this world where you fit in like a key. You are a part of a puzzle piece. And so you need to seek that out. And one way you seek that out is identifying what your interests are. My dad did that with me. He said, wherever your interests are, whatever you really like to do, that's what you're called to do.
I talk about that in my book, and I actually have an exercise to help people get to that.
Okay, so I have a question. What if you have an interest in something? And I'm just speaking from my own person. I've always had an interest in the law. I was told by a former chief of police when, like 2012 or something. I was even told by a recruiter, "Why are you not in law school?" But it's the trauma that the judicial system has embedded on my brain that makes me not even want to get anywhere near it.
So, if I may interject at this point in time, what you're doing is you are allowing something on the outside to keep you from being all who you need to be, and anybody on the other side of that from receiving what you have. So if you had asked me in 1998 when I left high school if I was going to be a high school teacher, a special education high school teacher, I'd have been like, yo, take that stuff, shove it where the sun don't shine, and don't talk about it again. I wanted to be a lawyer. And from leaving high school, I tried to get into law. It wasn't really panning out. And in one of the churches I was at, they were needing a children's pastor. And they said, hey, Rachel, would you just volunteer for just a while till we get one in there? And I was like, sure, fine, whatever. And so I did it. And it wasn't like I didn't want to do it. It was just like it wasn't on my purview at all. You know, I had about 4 kids at that point in time. So I was just like, I'm not going to spend my whole Sunday with them too. So I was like, let's do it. And I got in there and I started doing it. And the passion that rose out of that and helping kids understand the Bible, helping kids understand biblical concepts, and even having to challenge the students' understanding of what their parents told them that was incorrect about the Bible. And in that moment, I began to learn that I was still acting in the way of a lawyer because I was advocating for their spiritual well-being. And from that point, I enrolled my happy tail into school, and I went and got my education in elementary ed, then ended up getting the SPED, and then ended up going in special education. SPED is short for special education. And then, of course, I got my master's degree in it as well. So if you had asked me, no, I wouldn't have done education. And I was trying to avoid it with every fiber of my being because I'm self-diagnosed ADHD with being a SPED teacher. I'm 99.999% sure it is what it is. But I was also educationally identified by 3rd grade to have a reading comprehension and a math calculation and problem-solving deficit. So they wanted to give me services in those areas. My parents refused. It was an ignorant thing, but
that's how they did back in the day.
Yeah, it was just ignorance. Like,
you're trying to you telling me something wrong with my kid.
There's something wrong with my kid. It was very difficult in that time period, especially as I've learned the history of education. It was very difficult in that time period for black families to hear from white teachers that there's something wrong with their kid. No, you're just not doing your job, or my kid is lazy. That's it. And that was the excuse given for me, was that that I was lazy.
I gotta admit, that's kind of a definite. That kind of is the truth sometimes.
As an educator at the high school level, I still deal with it with parents.
Yeah, but in a sense,
no, I'm saying sometimes the kids is lazy and stupid.
There's a difference, though. I will say this: as an educator who do this for a living, we can identify stupid. We can identify lazy from you being educationally deficit. You cannot read.
No.
We give you this math
That's
problem,
why you're not
you
doing
cannot
the work.
solve it.
You acting out because you can't read.
Yes.
Because if you didn't act out, then now you're expected to do work.
Yes.
Now, okay. I get it. Now I'm not putting no lollipops.
I need glasses.
We don't do participation medals around here. But let's be real. If you know you can't read and you're not trying to get help, you stupid.
It's embarrassing.
No.
We're talking about children here.
Wait a minute, no, because I had it's embarrassing.
Okay, no.
Wait a minute.
You're right. She said high school. I'm just saying.
But no, here's the thing, though. But even at an elementary age, let me tell you what.
No, elementary, absolutely no. I'm not talking about the 6-year-old. I'm talking about the 6-year-old
who can't read.
So
I'm talking about the 19-year-old.
But here's the thing, though. It's worse at the high school level, and that's what I'm trying to explain.
I get that because you went that long.
Because you've got to this place, and now you're at high school. And I'm going to put this out there. I'm in a pretty affluent district, and so we get some students that are.
I have to ask because my ex-wife taught special ed.
Do not say your district.
I'm not trying to. Listen, I go back to work.
People will twist your words. She done got on this show and said our kids stupid. No. No.
Huh?
No.
No.
She said affluent, sir. What the?
And we
will. She said Jennings.
showed your condition.
Damn, she about to go
So
out
you
there
like
about school board now. Sorry, Wesley Bell, she ain't mean
Look,
that.
I did.
She did.
I went to Cardinal Ritter.
Hey, chill.
So when we
Yeah,
see
that's
students
special.
that
Look,
come, so the
Indian.
district that I'm in, I'm in a district that is one of many that are college preparatory AAA rated.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So there is a heavy expectation for you to be at an
right.
above reading level. Like we're teaching you the MLA format in freshman year.
Yes.
Like we're like legit. Like not that any school isn't, but you need to
Oh,
walk
it's
through
some
the
schools
Cardinal
that
Ritter,
ain't.
child.
No, let's talk. Some of them ain't now. Shit,
Cardinal
let's be real.
Ritter.
Because that one off of St. Charles Rock Road.
What I'm
That's
saying is,
North.
No, not that one.
That one don't count because they always talking about, nah, Walnut Park, baby. Original Ritter.
So what I'm saying is that she's correct. So when you come into a district, and even if you've been in the district for a while, and you're walking through the door, and you're having to read 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade level content, you're having to then being able to dissect, looking at secondary content, and then putting that into your writings, and then being able to parenthetically cite, and then being able to put together a resource page, and then being able to present that information. That is overwhelming, and it's not that you don't want to do it; it's just you don't know how to do it. And if your parents
Facebook
don't
should
know how
show
to help
you.
it, oh, it's
People
bad.
can't read
Listen.
on the adult level.
But here's the thing. Wait. Did you guys know?
They read.
But wait a second.
But they don't know what they read.
I lose friends daily because of or and R.
But here's the thing. Did you guys know, though, that the media, the written media in the United States is set at a 6th grade level?
Absolutely. Because they have to appeal
And
to
we're
the
still.
masses.
But here's the thing, though. But the masses graduated at 12th grade.
No, they didn't. They just passed people along.
But they don't
But
recognize.
that's what I'm saying. That's the problem.
grades.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the
my high
problem.
school
You graduated
diploma
12th grade
fishy.
and you're still struggling.
They don't
that
recognize that
math
because if you
test.
recognize that, then you have to acknowledge that there's a flaw in your system. And
Well,
you already have people saying the schools ain't doing nothing but public school system ain't doing nothing but preparing kids for prison. So if you acknowledge that,
you're gonna have to deal with that at a
Right.
level.
So
Let me tell you this. The prisons are preparing your kids for prison.
No.
Wait
She's
a
right.
minute.
No.
Here's-
She's right though. The
Do
school
you-
system is absolutely the whole. Even the way that they move students, the way that they categorize students, the way the students are put in together. We as a school system down here, and I say down here because we don't get to choose. We down here know how students should be grouped, know how students should be taught, and know how students should be able to integrate and work with other students. But
the people
but
up there-
because your businesses, and I hope I don't lose my job, but because your businesses, your corporations are writing your textbooks, because they're lobbying your politicians, they are the ones educating your child, because corporations need employees, not business owners.
do you hear me?
I was gonna say for a fact, I know that the prison budget, for example, the prison budget of 2025 is based on the scores of third graders this year.
And prisons are owned by corporations.
That's what I'm saying. I know it.
Exactly.
They setting you up.
So I'm gonna go back to when you said you're
And
either
you got 2
lazy,
minutes.
you lazy or stupid.
Educational curriculum.
Some people are
Those people?
not
Oh,
that.
okay.
I went to school with a boy. Kid you not. Kids act out because of what they see going. If I looked at when
I'm not saying all of them
wait a
because
minute,
I was a lazy
you said
one.
I got 2 minutes.
I was
so
a
wait
lazy
a minute
one.
because you said I got 2 minutes. I entered 8th grade.
Were you lazy or under challenged?
I was lazy.
I entered
I'm
8th
one of
grade.
the, I promise
wait
you,
a
I'm
minute.
one of the smartest people
So
that
look.
you will ever meet in your world. Now, I almost didn't graduate high
Wait a
school.
minute. I entered 8th grade on a college reading level. I took a test at the beginning of school. I entered 8th grade on a college reading level. Now imagine going from 8th grade, I did 9th grade, I get in the 10th grade class, and when I'm in science class, she asks the boy to read, and he knows he can't do it. So instead of that, he throw a fit. Why you asking me to read?
Right, that's his only
Why the
way
fuck you
out.
asking me to read? It's all these kids in here, and you
Right.
asking me to read.
And then I send out the
now you
referral.
You send out the referral. You send him to the office. Now he just escaped that simple task.
That's his only way
So
out.
it's not always about being lazy. Sometimes it's just about I done got this
No, I'm
far.
not saying always.
Now I'm in front of kids who understand, because in our school districts we're for the most part just grouped in until they distinguish what's different and what's not. Now I got all these kids that know I can't read. So, like she said, she was the bully waiting for you to not be able to do it.
No,
He was already unkept.
I never said
He was
all.
wait a minute. He was
I just said
already
some.
unkept. You could already tell that his parents weren't doing their one job, was to keep him fed and clean. That's all they had to do.
Past 14, you better wash your own ass.
He came to school. He had younger siblings, so he came to school smelling like pee every day. You could tell he was malnourished. You could tell, like she said, he had other shit going on. Fuck a damn book. I don't know when I'm going to eat again. Today, Friday.
And here's the thing, though, too. I want to interrupt for a moment. How many adults outside that home failed that kid?
Man.
Because this is part of what I was saying as far as addressing the mental health issues. The school system is the first
Well, y'all
place
can come on Monday. Y'all want to talk about this.
we see, the mental health issues. Because literally what happens is, like, when they're young, it exhibits as ADHD or even anxiety or ODD. My oldest daughter was diagnosed with ADHD and ODD in, like, 3rd grade. As they get older, the issues that they experience because of those issues will allow them to develop personality disorders and bipolar, or they can develop a drug addiction of some sort. All of these stem from issues that went unchecked when they had the biggest support system available to them. I got my daughter an IEP immediately when they first started saying this, and I didn't give a damn who had anything to say to it, because the reality of it is we're putting labels on these things to say that it's for this person and this person. But let's look at it for what it actually is. Because my child has this issue, they are required to provide them with additional assistance. If you as a regular parent wanted to get that additional assistance for your child just because they needed it and they didn't have this diagnosis, how much would that cost you? So the school also gets extra money, not only for the specialist, but for their child. So now it's somewhat of a protection. You gotta really do your damn job because they checking on you. I gotta have a meeting with these people every year.
Yes, every year.
But I know school districts
Twice a
that
year.
get that
Beginning of the
money
year and the end of the
and they
year.
do nothing with it.
So I will say,
And that's because they have parents
that are
who
not
don't
involved.
get involved.
So it can be an incentive because the IEP system is protected by the federal law. It's not just the school districts. So you literally, and I know, like, at least in the state of Missouri, you have to undergo, there's several steps before you even have the conversation of an IEP. You don't just to go show up and say, hey, my kid needs an IEP. You can let your school personnel know, like, hey, I'm concerned about my kid. They seem like every time they read, they don't understand what they're doing. I feel like they need to be tested. And what then they start to do is they start interventions first. We don't even have a conversation about the diagnosing them or testing them unless you specifically ask to be tested in specific areas. But if you're bringing to my attention that there's an issue, well, then I'm going to start doing interventions. I'm going to start pulling them aside. I'm going to start working on some of this specialization that I've been taught in school to get this kid to get it. If they're still not getting it, all right, then there's another level. Let's sit down here and see if we can do a little bit of pull-outs. So there's a whole list before you get there, and sometimes that takes almost 2 school years before you ever see an IEP. So, and then once you get the IEP is going to get out of jail free card. An IEP says, if John can sit in a class for 48 minutes and can do a pop quiz do a 5-question pop quiz, can sit and listen to a lecture and take notes, do the class work, and then start on his homework and then do his homework in that 45-minute time period, then that would we consider being, okay, that is the average. But if Mary come in and she can't pay attention to save her life, so she did the quiz, but because she was so hyper-focused on question 2, she didn't finish it in time. The teacher's now on the lecture, so now she's missing the lecture. So now she can't get the classwork done. Now she's behind. She can't demonstrate knowledge on her test because she missed all the information. So what are we going to do to help? Well, maybe we shorten the time. Instead of 5 questions, 2 questions. So now we know you can tackle that. So when you're doing the lecture, we're going to give you teacher-provided notes so that you're able to focus on the information that's there so you don't have to figure out what you're supposed to focus on. Now you have this to work on. We're going to shorten your assignment so that you can get that done in the same class period. That's what the IEP does for students. It is not a get a free A, hang out with teachers, I get to go and get candy. No, that's not what it's there for.
My daughter hated it because she was getting pulled out of class from the rest of her class.
A lot of students
So it looks like, you're in trouble, or you look like the dumb kid.
So now, and I'm going to tell you how I know this. So I was, until recently, started lifing, studying to be a substitute teacher. I wanted to do it because of what I've seen in the past. This is my thing about teaching, nursing, etc. If you don't have a passion for this don't do it. I witnessed they don't vet people well, and I can't specifically say St. Louis, but I can specifically say what I've seen. They don't vet people well when it comes, because you're not. They ask you all these damn questions to get you to pass this test so they can say, oh, this person can do it. But they're not doing their checks and balances to make sure that person is actually doing it.
Oh.
I walked in the classroom. My daughter must have been in 3rd grade. This girl I knew, I grew up with her in the church, everything. Her son had an IEP. She had specific instructions. He doesn't like change. If you're gonna have a substitute teacher, let me know. He just won't be at school that day, because this is when he acts out. I walk in the class, my daughter crying. What you crying for? She said, Mommy, he's just so mean to him. I said, who? She said, the man. I say, what man? She say, the man that's teaching. I say, so where's your teacher? She said, she not here today or tomorrow. But the man just so mean to him. I ain't gonna say no names, but I walked in the classroom. The little boy, I look at him like my little cousin. Like I said, I grew up with his mom. I go and I say, come here. And he's on some, what you doing? He acting a fool because the little boy is this dang on big. But he's tossing chairs to the point they got the kids against the wall because he's tossing chairs. Come to find out, and I heard this man say this with my own ears. He said, yeah, you do something before I have to hem him up. I told my daughter, I told him, I told my little cousin, because I can't control nobody else's kids. But I know these kids going to listen to me. I said, go stand in the hall right quick. He said, what you standing into the hall for? This not your class. I said, and bitch, it ain't your class either. Watch how you talk to these kids. I said, did you even read the lesson plan? They don't pay me enough to... Excuse me? I said, had you read what was going on, you would know he's special needs. So he doesn't function like the rest of these kids. Watch how you talk to him. And I said, and as far as hemming him up, I wish the fuck you would.
And on everything.
He told me something. So what, you his mama? I said, I'm not his mama. I said, but let me be clear. You were assigned a job, okay? If you didn't want it, you shouldn't have took it. But for you to threaten it, I asked my baby, I said, has he been doing this all day? Because she going to be honest. She said, Mommy, he's been saying bad words all day. He been talking to him all day, calling him stupid, calling him this, calling him that. That explains why he has lashed out and don't want to be around you. You've created an uncomfortable environment for him. I went down to the office. I said, do y'all even vet these people before y'all bring them up in the school? Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, we do. I said, no, the fuck you don't.
That's why they have such
my mouth is horrible. When I get mad, my mouth is horrible. I said, no, the fuck you don't. She said, and what makes you think we don't? She got on the defense. I said, because I just had a 20-minute long conversation with one of your substitute teachers. And my 3rd grade daughter told me how he been sitting up in there cussing them out all day, calling her friend stupid all day. He has an IEP. Where was his behavioral specialist at?
Yeah, the behavior specialists don't show up like that, though. They're only there to diagnose and to provide support to teachers as far as building plans for them. So behavior specialists don't stick around in the school 24/7. But they're usually floaters all over the district.
And see, me, when I was doing it, I was in a house with them 4 to 5 days a week. We had a consistent structure, and this is with adults. Mm-hmm. So I don't see why you wouldn't have that same thing for children.
Well, the reason
no, it's not. When you're dealing with autism and special care, sometimes I had one client. He literally was on the 3rd grade level.
Yeah.
No, adults is in the house.
It's no.
Or
what you're
care,
not understanding is
place.
mentally. If I'm dealing with an adult with autism who does not function, I don't like the word normal. He does not function like other adults. And he has care 5 days a week.
In his own house?
Wait, he's not in his own house. He's in a residential facility.
That's what I'm saying. He's in a facility versus a kid in
Why
school.
would you not have that same thing? A school ain't nothing but a facility with more people.
So I'll tell you
a facility is open.
It's not
the whole time.
It's not.
Never mind.
It's a residential facility, which means it's a home where you have to have a badge to come in, and you have to have a time frame where you deal with these people
you can do
based on the needs that they were okay to have. It's the same thing.
Till 5, 6, 7 p.m. or whatever the time is. The kids is only at school for a certain period of time.
Exactly. Yes, you can.
Because you got how many kids? You got 2,000 kids, and half of them, you got the ratio.
If you put in the effort, if you say, "Look, this is what we're hiring for," because it literally don't take long. Okay,
yeah, so I will have to say,
because I'm gonna tell you this.
Gonna act like I didn't.
They offered me. My ex-wife was that, and they gave me that same option. I said, "Hell no, I'm not doing that." They also told me I can come and substitute whenever I want, make so many dollars per hour. Never been trained to teach kids or whatever the fuck else. So, they just said, come do it.
So I will tell you, as an active special educator, the reasons why we do not have a behavior specialist 24/7 is because I, as a special education teacher, so I have my certification pre-K through 12, mild to moderate, cross-categorical. So what that certification says is I can handle any kid from pre-K to 12th grade that is on any part of the spectrum until we begin to move out of significant moderate disabilities. So I can work with students who are significantly cognitively delayed, your autistics that are extremely violent, to an ADHD kid that just may struggle with just focus. So the reason why is because that's my job. So as a SPED teacher, I have been trained to identify what you're dealing with, read an IEP, understand what I'm reading, and then being able to recognize, okay, if you're autistic and I know you don't like change, that means I have to prepare you before your change. So if I know we're getting ready to do A, B, C, and D, okay, Michael, we're getting ready to change in 5 minutes. I'm going to put the timer up on the board. You got to know we're getting ready to do this in 5 minutes. All right, Michael, you have 3 more minutes. We're getting ready to transition out of reading into math. All right, so let's start putting our things away to help them transition. We don't need a behavior specialist to do that because I'm already trained to do that. So if the building has 50 SPED teachers and we're servicing 500 students, I'm just throwing numbers in there, and we're servicing 500 students, all of us SPED teachers are to have had that training and that education. Now what behavior specialists come in is when we're doing all that we know to do, the kid is still exhibiting behaviors no matter the strategies, no matter what we're doing. The behavior specialists then come in and tell us, okay, from my observation over these different environments and with these different people, this is what I'm identifying is the challenge here. Now, I, as a SPED teacher, then take that wonderful information and I now have to rewrite the IEP, or I have to write a behavior plan that now all the other teachers need to follow to keep the kid regulated, and that gets updated. So that is the reason why behavior specialists don't stay 24/7.
And and so my thing is not staying 24/7, but he had one, and she wasn't there. She had no knowledge.
Okay, are you talking about like behavior specialists, or are you talking about a support person? Because those are two different people.
So what I did is I go into the homes. I take what is normal to you and try to get you on a different, as close to quote unquote normal as possible, to a functioning level for you. So where you can operate in society. My problem with the school system, and I'm just gonna say the public school system. I'm not gonna say
private
all schools.
Private schools oftentimes don't have
and that's why I say, and that's why I say, public school system, because private schools, you just
They have to.
They don't have.
Everybody
They don't
just
have
doing
to,
all of
but
that
they
in
have. They are
private
still
school.
legally required to provide. So what they'll do is they'll contact someone like me, and they'll say, or my district, and say, hey, do you have teachers in there that's willing to take on this service and come to our building and help after hours?
I know for a fact I'm probably ADHD my dang own self.
Most
And
people.
that's between me and my first baby daddy had a desk outside the principal office. We never had no business
So,
other kids.
at least 85% of the American population have some sort of mental illness.
Yes.
Talk
Like-
to
But
for
I went
yourself.
to
Fuck
private
y'all.
school.
No,
So
that's
in
a fact.
private school, they
Mind you,
figure
I've been in
your
mental health.
parents
I've been in mental health
Yeah.
since
We
2010.
said-
Well, and not only that, I don't think the private schools have the financial means to do it. Like the monies that are required. So, I'm not gonna throw out any districts. I started to say something. The monies that are required will literally make your head spin. And the district that I'm in, I don't get paid extra to do what I do. There are some districts that do pay extra to do what they do, but you got to factor in every every behavior specialist that do come in to work with students, occupational therapists, language therapists. You talking about physical therapists. That don't even touch the gamut of there is those that work with students who are so cognitively low, your 3-year-old will outsmart them. And you're talking about students who are getting their diapers and stuff changed at school. Like you have a whole, like it's a whole.
I went through that training last week. Baby,
the money's.
It smells. I got a thing about smells.
The money's
I
needed
can't.
is crazy.
I can't
No,
do.
I
I
don't
can't
know.
do smells. Like I told them,
got
I don't think this for me. Changing, not an adult, but the way your bowels and everything move is like an adult. I can't do it.
I'm potty training right now. I can't stand life.
I can't do
It
smells.
smell like a puppy
And then
mill in my
imagine the
No,
girls
no.
that have hit puberty
Oh yeah, no, I
who
can't.
are in these classes.
Oh, okay, no, conversation's over.
Okay, so I think the
Conversation
point
is
at the
over.
end of the day,
No.
yeah.
I think the point is she's saying what I said about the school.
Yeah. So
It
it
ain't
depends.
enough people.
Schools to prison pipeline is an
Yes.
actual thing.
It is an actual thing.
It's
Yes,
an
we
actual
all
thing. They're prepared.
agreed
Even
on
if
this.
you pay
You know
attention
this.
to how kids move. My son got in trouble last school year because in the middle of them in their straight line passing for class,
He hit his friend or something.
he said something to his friend. Now the friend hit him on top of his head and ran back in line. He went over there and did the same thing. Now they see what KJ did. They'll never see what the other kids do.
No, of course.
They'll never see what the other kids do. So she was like, he got out of line. I said, okay. Like, what are we doing here? Are you giving me a call because he got out of line? She said, well, he was leaned against the locker. Okay. Like,
Man,
what are
if
we
you don't
doing?
get off my phone.
Or at the
Okay.
very
Right.
least.
So look, she said, well, that wasn't the big problem. I said, well, I'm at work. Can we get to the problem?
Right.
She said, when I said something to him, he rolled his eyes. I said, okay. I said, and that was
Rolling
the
my eyes
problem.
right
Why?
now, bitch.
She said, okay, I said, okay, and that was the problem. Why? She said, because that can cause negative repercussions. I said, oh, on who end? She said, well, I'm just saying with teacher or student. I said, oh, really? I said, do you know what I do for a living? She was like, no. I said, so let me tell you this. Did he hit you? She said, no. I said, did he call you out your name? She said, no. I said, what did he do? She said, he rolled his eyes. I said, so he expressed himself. She said,
He expressed discontent.
right. I said, that can be she said, well, that can be a problem. I said, why is that a problem? She said, well, it just can be. I said, well, no. I said, because you got to explain it and make it make sense to me. She said, so you're okay with him rolling his eyes? I said, in an effort to not be disrespectful, he knew he was doing something he wasn't supposed to do. He stopped doing the action, but you continue. Because I ask both sides. I don't never take a teacher's side all the time because adults lie too. I asked him. I said, put me on speakerphone. She put me on speakerphone. I said, KJ, what'd she do? She said she was just yelling at me in front of everybody and going on and on and on. And I didn't want to be disrespectful and say, shut up. So I rolled my eyes. I said, so you were showing that you were not happy with her actions. He said, yeah. I said, so he was showing that he was unhappy with your actions. She said, but that's not the point. He's a child. I don't give a... I said, see, that's what's wrong. You make it so that children can't express themselves, then get mad when they lash out negatively. They start hitting people. They start cursing people out. All he did was roll his eyes. She said, and you don't see a problem with that? I said, I don't.
Now, I have a question,
I know kids that you've had that have slapped the hell out of you. So, no.
I have a question, though. Is he allowed to roll his eyes to you?
Oh, yeah, I don't care.
Oh, okay.
I don't care.
Well, we doing too much talking about the kids. It's in the laws. Kids ain't supposed
care.
to be involved.
And I'm tell you why I don't care. Because, like I said, as a child, I was unheard. Mm-hmm. If I was to try to verbalize my feelings, I'm an emotional person. We can talk about astrology another time, but I'm a Scorpio. I'm very emotional. So I might cry or tear up and I was told I was dramatic. So as long as you aren't disrespectful, I allow my children to have an emotional outlet. Now, if you yelling at me,
lines of disrespect be so blurred.
Now, to me, if you're yelling at me, you're cussing me out, whatever, that's disrespectful to me. But if you are calmly voicing how you feel, because your emotions, your feelings, they are yours. Nobody can tell you that you're wrong for how you feel, but for how your emotions are. You rolling your eyes? I don't care about you rolling your damn eyes. At the end of the day, I said what I said. And that's all she had to do. But you yelling and going on and on, now you've created a scenario where you're embarrassing him.
Now, I would challenge that just a little bit, and this is the reason why. Not just talking as a teacher, as a parent, as a mom of 6. I have 4.5 adults. I consider my 17-year-old an adult, and then the 2 little people. The rolling of the eyes, I see what you're saying is an expression, but the expression was to the consequence received of the action, and that expression is one of non-acceptance, and it from a typical standpoint, it's seen as disrespectful only because when your eyes are rolled, you're dismissing the person and their expression themselves. And when a child does it too, because adults don't like when we roll our eyes at each other either.
But I feel like as he should have. When you told him to stop and he stopped, that should have been the end of it. The yelling in his face, like this close to his face, the yelling in his face and the embarrassment because now people are walking through the hallway and they're seeing this. And now he's deemed as the bad kid. When my son is an honor roll student and a star athlete. I tell people all the time.
That don't mean he ain't bad.
Wait a minute.
Like, let's be real.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
What the fuck?
I didn't say that didn't mean what I'm saying is bullying and everything was going on in their school and they did nothing about it. And I told them, I said, when you don't address certain actions, you cause other actions.
That's what she's saying about that
to appear. Wait a minute. Exactly. So they didn't address the bullying because the girl's mama worked at the school, which to me is a conflict of interest. They didn't address the bullying because the girl's mama worked at the school. That was the first time. He had continuously been bullied. This incident right here, a little girl hit him. She ain't say a word. So he leaned against the wall because he knows, hey, don't go hitting other girls. So he leaned against the wall. He leaned against the locker because he was holding himself back. She didn't say nothing about the little girl hitting him, but she said something about him leaning against the wall. Now you create resentment from him to you when you should have addressed both. But once you said, hey, Caleb, get off the wall or the locker or whatever, and he got up, y'all should have kept going on about y'all day. All the yelling and the embarrassing him in front of all these people. Now you created resentment again because y'all keep doing it to the point where my son, no lie, my son sat in the car. I was on my way to work. My son sat in the car for 30 minutes. I said, KJ, you got to go. I got to go to work. He said, I don't want to be here. I said, why you don't want to be here? He said, because they don't do what they're supposed to do. He said, my son is very smart. My son told me at 6 years old I was being sarcastic, and I was. So he's very intelligent. He said they don't do what they're supposed to do. When you leave me here, you leave me in their care. He said they bully, they don't do nothing because her mama worked here or this person, family member worked there. They don't do what they're supposed to do. And then they get mad at me when I do something. He said, you tell me don't, instead of hitting back, go tell, but when I go tell, nothing gets done. So then when I hit back,
and you hit a girl?
Wait a minute. When I hit back, because they've hit me.
Off of this.
Hold on, wait a minute. Because
I hit a girl.
It wasn't a girl in this instance. He didn't hit her back, but I could go on about that shit too.
I'm just saying.
Because I'm a firm believer in keep your motherfucking hands to yourself. Girl, boy, or otherwise. Keep your hand to yourself.
No, he got caught.
No, this time he had actually hit a little boy back, and the little boy hit him first. And he didn't tell his teacher because he tells you on everybody else.
I don't kid in school.
I'm homeschooling all day.
I do. If I could homeschool, I would homeschool. Because the disdain
YouTube
that I have, I had a teacher.
Maybe watching YouTube at school.
Not a teacher, but she's a school. I don't know what she does in the school, but she picks on the kids. And it ain't just my son that done told me. It's other children that I have no relation to that I barely know that tell me they don't even want to get up.
We all actually have experienced that. Like, it's no such thing like as bad teachers being new. Yeah. It's always been bad
but
teachers.
With this,
but
I think it goes overlooked more. So
I think though, for real, when we talk about the conversation of children disrespecting teachers and teachers disrespecting children, I think one thing is severely being left out of this conversation. The fact that your voice can be power, but your silence can as well. And I think a lot of times us as parents, we are so adamant now because a lot of us have been abused and neglected. We want our kids to vocalize everything, when in all honesty, their protection is actually being quiet until they get to a safe space to say this is the problem instead of trying to confront the issue, head on.
Because realistically, in your situation, and realistically,
because I tell my daughters all the time, hey, don't argue with the teacher. Tell me, and I got it.
Now that's another thing.
Hold on, no. I talked to you 2 minutes, 30 minutes ago. No. We talking too much about damn kids on this fucking show.
That's still
We're talking about, you want to talk about mental health?
That's
Monday. Mental health as well. Y'all can tune in, 7 p.m. Same time, different day. All right, we got to move on. Damn, it's 9 o'clock. All right? Shit. This motherfucker playground after dark. Hold on. All right.
What we do is we get into
don't turn your nose up at me. Because that's what it's supposed to be about anyway.
Well, look, I could definitely say this is probably why I'm not getting laid, but it's cool. I'm
an advocate for my kids because I never had that. My mama was always, what they got to lie about you? What they got to lie on you for?
Yeah, but
like, people do it.
Yeah, like, you gotta realize that that's a trauma response.
When my son was in private
why you bring the kids back up again?
Okay, then change the subject.
No, we're moving on.
Ask a question.
Damn it, I got a question.
Ask the
question.
We're
moving on. Ask the question.
You look like you travel a little bit. Yeah, you be in Florida. Technically, it do.
I don't been a few places.
It's like 15 minutes away.
How many states have you had sex in?
Oh, let's see. I think 4.
4?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Not bad.
I wish I could whore around internationally, but I haven't made it there yet.
Well, you know,
I mean, most entertainers get that number up past 10 at least.
Yeah, see, I haven't done enough out of town shows.
Gotta get on that.
But
Gotta
you know
get on
what?
that.
Like being a female comedian and having groupies, it's tough. It's really tough.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's not what's up like for a girl to have groupies. So yeah, I'd rather not.
What sexual position do you feel is underrated?
I don't know what you call it.
Describe it. I'll tell you the name.
This.
Scissoring?
Yeah.
With
And
another
I know
woman?
You think of,
With the man? The okay.
I
The
wanna
Roman
say-
style.
I want to say, it's like,
Yeah, I know what
like
you're
a
saying.
praying mantis or
Yeah.
or something. It's that.
No,
yeah.
it's the scissors. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
same thing. I can feel you. Okay.
Because everybody be doggy style or, you know, get out. Yeah,
So
no.
is the scissor feet to head or face to face?
Feet to head.
Okay. Just want to make sure. Okay. All right. Your turn.
We'll see.
We got the same questions.
No
Everybody-
pleading the fifth.
No, everybody answering
no,
this.
I know how to answer questions.
All right. And this easy. We don't
Easy.
even have no
It's easy,
audience
let us
questions.
easy.
Believe me, the audience questions is the ones that's gonna make y'all get up and run. We ain't got none of those. So, who was your first celebrity crush?
Celebrity crush?
Who's the no? And then we're not talking about just he cute. We talking about the first celebrity that could get it.
Well, I mean, coming from my upbringing, it was pretty
You better not say Kurt
cool.
Franklin.
No, dear God, no. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, you gonna scissors? You gonna scissors with him?
Right now. No.
You gonna scissors with him?
No, because
He
it's
got a
funny.
coochie, don't he?
No, it's funny because it wasn't. Girl, how old was I? I was
I was in high school when Stomp came out.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
high school
damn.
too. I was high school when Stomp came out.
Before your glory, before you got sanctified.
Because I'm happy. No, I was made to go to church then.
Oh,
it was a non-negotiable.
So you was looking for the church bad boys.
And once
get
I
it.
could decide for myself, baby, I gave up the Holy Ghost real quick.
So another reason why I say that is because I had my sights actually on a famous pastor's son, but Crush though
Famous
was
pastor.
Yeah, no, very very famous pastor.
Daniel Jones.
Okay, no, you gotta go to the '90s famous. Yeah,
He was like early 2000s.
Nope.
Yeah, no.
Because you know that Daniel Jones was
'Cause-
Bobby Jones.
Yeah, you gotta go early.
Is
You
he
have
now?
to. You have to go early '90s. You have to go early '90s.
Talk about
So
bringing
like
God up
outside of
in
that,
everybody.
Crush rather be Brian McKnight. Really, Brian McKnight.
Wow, you got some trauma to heal from. You picked the one who beat bitches. You picked the one who beat on them.
I didn't know nothing about his history then, but yeah, no. When I was in
I know
in
in the
middle
90s he
school,
was beating on his wife. I
Yeah.
stopped liking him then.
yeah, I didn't know.
And now
you have to
he disowns
remember
all
though.
his black children.
But you have to know though. I was only exposed to secular music on a minuscule. So Brian McKnight's music
all you
was
knew.
clean enough of secular music for me to be allowed to
Because his
listen
daddy
to.
was a pastor, your parents.
Well, I
let you
wasn't.
fly
I
that.
didn't know about Brian McKnight's spiritual history until I was an adult. I knew his brothers were part of Take Six. That I did know, but I wasn't. I didn't know how that went with Brian McKnight himself. And then I ended up later learning he was a Seventh Day Adventist. But no,
I heard that
Explains
too.
so much.
yeah. So that's what I learned later on in the day. But so far as Crush, yeah. But so far as I thought I was going to
You was gonna marry the
miraculously
pastor's son.
somehow marry this pastor's son. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
All right. Have you ever met him?
No.
Okay.
Never met him.
He's still around?
Yeah, he's
know,
around.
we can make
married.
this
He took
happen. Give
over-
me a name.
No,
We'll make this
he's
happen.
married and he took over his father's.
That don't
he
stop
took
nothing
over
from
his,
them church folks.
father's
You know how they get
business.
down.
Lady,
I was supposed to be the
Them church
first
folks
lady,
be
but
getting
yeah.
down.
No. So yeah, no, he's married.
I
Got
heard
kids.
about Bible camp.
And believe it or
Hey.
not, I never went to a Bible camp.
And that's probably
I
why.
never went to a Bible camp.
Hey, no, you can't go.
We got a little vacation Bible school every
But
year.
yeah, no,
Vacation Bible
he's,
school used to be off the chain.
He's running the ministry.
All the
His-
freaks
his-
went.
But why that. But you know a lot of
freaks win.
But you
Now
know
that
a
I
lot
think
of why
about
that
it,
is.
they
though.
didn't never go to the church, but they was always
they
at
was
the
at
camp.
But you know,
Okay,
but
come
you
on
know,
now.
but you know why that is, though, right? You know why that is? Because of the church's refusal to deal with sex.
Well,
You create a space where it's just like you it's something.
So
it's
we
not,
gonna get a
you
bunch
don't
of
talk about
horny
it or don't
teens
talk about it.
together.
Yes, if you're in
no,
your,
the thing is, I think, because I promise you, every kid in my neighborhood went to the church camp one summer. But they never went to none of the church events during that summer. It
was just.
But they was like, man, we
They put
we
a
was
big
all
sign
at
outside
that.
that say vacation
just
Bible
said-
school, and just like now, parents feel like, oh
Drop them
shoot,
kids
this
off.
is
No,
4
the
hours
kids is
without
like,
my
Our
dad.
parents wasn't even signing us up.
Yes.
We was just going.
Right?
Yes.
They like
Yes.
they ain't gonna
Church
think
and
we
learn
fucking.
something.
yes,
We
and
should just go.
vacation,
They not gonna think we fucking.
and the Bible schools and those vacation Bible school camps was an attempt to try to reach kids that weren't coming to church. But the problem is you're reaching a world that don't play by the rules.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to bring them into this setting where you're not teaching your kids
Man,
the rules.
We was stealing food.
And so
out
now
the
you're integrating these
cafeteria.
two different people together.
up.
Yeah, you're going to have some
Get on.
promiscuity going on.
I'd be at, look,
We
I
had
would be
bears.
at
We
church.
was shooting at bears with
And I would
slingshots
be
and
at
all
church,
kind of shit.
and the little corner boys live down the street. So when we would come outside the church, they'd be like, "Y'all out of church yet?" Mm-hmm. Yeah. I kid
You
you
can't
not.
wait to go.
My-
They gonna be down there.
I kid you not. Outside of my very first little puppy love boyfriend, my second little puppy love boyfriend, well, he used to be a corner boy at the liquor store by my church. Man, we would go to the store we would show up 30, 45 minutes early, sit out there and talk, whatever, flirt, whatever, go in church. And I had sex one time before a choir rehearsal. Like,
You just so okay. Well,
I did. There was
Mama,
because
hope Mama
in
ain't
church,
listening.
because
You know,
in
man,
church, in
why
church,
late?
you're not taught that these are natural emotions that you're going to feel because your hormones are brought into the fact. We had what is called, like, we would do a ceremony, like I forgot what it's called, but you make a promise to God to not have sex before marriage. They give you a little gold plated ring.
That purity.
No, I told my grandma.
The purity ring.
I kid you not. True story. I told my grandma I was 12 years old. I don't want to do this. Like, I don't feel like that's a promise I can make. I don't know when I'm going to get married. I don't know when I'm going to get married. I'm 12 years old. How can I make a decision not to have sex until marriage when I don't know when I'm gonna get married? You know, my grandma told me,
tingling, grandma.
you want to be a little hoe, then be a little hoe.
Mm-hmm. She know what's up.
Well, yeah, because
I had never even been touched.
I think the responsibility of knowing what's going on puberty-wise is your parents' responsibility. Mm-hmm. I think it's the church's responsibility to teach the value in keeping yourself for marriage. And I think it's the church's responsibility to explain, to understand how difficult that is and the consequences of it. We just tell people to abstain from sex or you're going to burn in hell. That's not how that works.
Some real world consequences.
I mean, no, you're going to burn it inside in this world.
Your
shit go, you got to go get it right. You're going to burn. You're going to burn all right. Every time you pee.
But I'm saying, if I'm in the church and you be like, hey, you do this.
But here's the thing, because
my first friend got pregnant at 14.
Well, because the reason why I say that is because if we're telling it to it's not enough second graders that are engaging in this behavior.
That's what you think.
So no. Statistically, there's not enough to arrest that entire 7-8-year-old
class. But now we can teach our kids about gay marriage.
Learning about that.
I started pulling my kids out of it, and I think my second kid was the last kid to sit in a conversation in school about sex ed because they need to learn that from me. Mm-hmm. From me. They need to understand your value as a woman, your value as a man, what you are bringing to the table as it relates to your virginity, and what's at stake, and how you redefine who you are when you decide to share the most important piece of who you are with somebody who do not value you because they do not value themselves. Yeah. So, but my household, my kids don't date though.
We have these conversations with my child, and I threaten little boys.
Don't do that. Don't.
Huh? How I make your mom.
Have you ever walked in on someone having sex?
No. Actually,
Never?
I can say that with absolute certainty.
Anyone ever walked in on you having sex?
No. I was
Out
like,
of
no.
6 kids?
Yeah.
Ain't none of them kids.
Y'all be
touch
having
you?
some secret sex.
Man,
Damn
quiet.
it. You quiet? You must not be quiet. That's why they not walking in on you.
Well, yeah. You have kids. You got to learn how to be quiet. But
Or turn the TV. We watching something you can't watch.
If you would count my one kid, I don't remember, but nothing was really happening. Like it was getting ready, to go down. So I don't know if you would really, count that. But yeah, no, we were pretty responsible to lock doors and remember that if we want to be demonstrative vocally, we need to go to a hotel or give the kids to somebody else.
Okay. Responsible.
Very respectable.
Have sex responsibly.
Yeah.
Understand that. Just like we drinking tonight, Smirnoff. Have sex responsibly.
Man,
not like some of them other
I'm
parents
doing an interview.
knocking the walls down, got the kids
and I'm
in there
doing an
crying.
interview. Come on now. Don't ask me nothing. Because I see that look in your eyes. Don't ask me nothing.
Don't ask you nothing?
What you about to ask me?
I mean, have you ever purchased lube?
I have. Moving on.
You supposed
No.
to be Planned Parenthood.
No, we need details. Why was you purchasing lube?
None of your.
Hope it wasn't with Ted's money.
Who
Or
the
whatever
fuck is
dude
Ted's
name.
money?
He just made you up a new baby daddy.
Man, I don't even know who.
You know the dude that got
Money
the
is.
video from a couple weeks ago?
I don't even know who Ted's money is. Like, I just want. Let me see. I don't know who the fuck Ted's money is.
The dude that got pegged in that video a couple weeks ago.
Woo! He paid so much.
Now we've had this conversation.
I'm just
There
saying.
isn't a man that first of all, anybody that can have a sexual encounter with me knows me like in depth, knows me. There isn't a man living or dead, which I haven't had sex with anyone who's currently deceased. But there isn't a man
You ain't
alive
got no killer pussy?
that would ask me to do something like that. Like, if you know the person. See, men do that with women. They feel either they just too comfortable. It ain't a man alive that'll ask me to strap up for him. Baby, you can either get up out my house.
They not going to start with the strap.
Look, not strap, not a thumb, not a finger, not a pinky, nothing. There isn't a man that I've been intimate with, which it ain't been many, but there ain't a man that I've been intimate with that would ask me to get anywhere near his anus.
He might not ask you.
Well, baby, I don't know who they talking
So
to
you
or
don't
what
eat
they
booty.
doing. Fuck.
Business.
Baby, let me tell you, my mouth don't go near nobody ass.
It do. If you suck dick, it go near it.
Let me tell you this, okay?
About 3 inches of distance.
Right, it's near it. It's in the vicinity of that.
There's no, my mouth ain't going on nobody's ass.
All right, I accept.
The
I
queef
accept.
juice probably
Baby,
might have ran down.
my brother is watching this. Lord
Ain't
have
nobody.
mercy.
Look,
My
anybody ever
oldest
farted
brother.
while y'all was? Never mind.
No. Stop.
I swear to God, that
Lorraine,
happened
I
one
am
time to
sorry.
me. I was like, woo.
I love
All right,
baby
you got
one.
one?
No, I don't.
You ready? Oh, okay. I don't want to ask you that one. It might be like on the way here.
I told you.
Damn.
Should we ask?
What's the longest you've gone without sex?
Like a year and a half, I think.
Was it a choice, abstinence, or was it one of them situations?
It's always a choice.
It's always a choice.
I ain't playing. I know.
Was it coming from the person who kept talking about choices earlier?
This year alone, I can say I have purposefully been trying to tap into my God-given energy. And so therefore, I'm reserving who I transmute my energy with. So I've only had sex twice this year. And because I've literally been working on this project for months, that second time that I did it, my life went so AWOL for a fucking week. I said never. until I finish doing what the fuck I'm doing, I'm not having sex with nobody. Because shit was gravy when I was sex. And then that one time,
and the dick wrecked your life.
it was my birthday month.
It's the
So
transference of energy.
yeah, but one time I'm like,
Got you all
I
off
can't
track.
even.
Let me ask you this: was his life in disarray?
I'm gonna say yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
And this person, it took me a minute, cause at first when I first connected with them, I was grieving my marriage. So it wasn't like I was actually looking for anything from them. So I wasn't even really looking into them. And what I learned was that he was actually siphoning energy from me.
That happens too.
And
wait,
he's an energy vampire.
Like that's what his intentions was, or that's what the result was?
He came to her for positive energy, and in exchange, he's giving her negative energy.
So he saw you shine, and
he's
it
not
came
purposely.
He's
that's
not-
what happens whether we want it to or not.
That's what I'm saying. What's that his intentions to?
It don't always have to be intentional.
It don't have nothing to do with his intention.
No, I mean it's some intention.
and
Some
then,
people
no,
can see
it's
somebody
definitely
shine and say,
intent,
"Hey, I'm gonna hop
but
on
I'm not
this and
saying
get."
that
You know what I'm saying?
It was his life, his aura.
Oh, okay, that was his result
already
of
like
it.
that.
He came
So
to her for
yeah,
comfort.
he was getting positive energy from me, and in exchange, I got to take a little bit of what he had.
I mean, you
in order
exchange
for him.
energies. You exchange energy.
That's it.
That's
Yeah,
just
but,
the name of the
you
game.
have to be understanding that even something as a touch can be a transference of energy.
Right. You can walk in a room. You could be happy. The person in the room having the worst day of their life. By the time you walk out that room, you got all day damn anger on you. I understand
And it can be something you don't
that's
even
not
know.
nothing big.
You don't even know that it's going on. But that's a different topic.
Energy
At the
transfer
time, I
is
did not when I said
look.
you-
Energy is energy. It can't die. It has to
only
move.
transfers.
It can only
It only
move. So
transfers.
when you're around, it got to get out of that person at some point in time. They've been carrying it for so long. It got to go through you eventually. Even if it through you, it go through you.
People be battling
You know?
so much shit, and then when you interact with them, you could literally be on a complete high. And that just that one interaction. My cousin worked for a lady that told her, I just be going through so much, I need your energy. And because my cousin is so in tune, she was like, hold on, what? And she told me, she called me, she said, let me make sure I'm not tripping. I said, tripping about what? She said, I tell you every negative interaction I have with this lady. She said, but the words that came out of her mouth, she was like, my ears started ringing. I said, what? She said, I need your energy. I said, get the fuck away from that lady.
Very much
Get
so.
away from that lady. There are people that are energy vampires. They need your positive energy because their life is shit.
And I feel like as women, we definitely have some other, I call it shit on going on with us. Because if you pay attention, outside of it not being within God's will, but how many sisters do you know will be on the right path, got their life going accordingly? They hair growing, skin done cleared up. You ain't heard them say nothing gonna get cut off in the house. The kids look happy and healthy, and then boom, she meet Ray dusty ass, and he take her from there to the pits of hell within a year. And you'll be like, damn, homie, what happened? Like, literally.
I tell you what happened when he was talking stupid in the first 5 seconds. You didn't shut it down and move and walk away.
Bingo.
But see, some people have learned how to beat that.
Yes, but I will tell you this, because I'm in the dating arena. I pick out, and it may also be maybe because of the way that I ask questions, I know what my morals, my values, and my beliefs are. And so I will
compromise.
I will intentionally ask critical questions that will display your morals, your values, and your beliefs. I met a guy who had said, he's like, he said, I stopped going to church because I went through this divorce and I started making money and I just really couldn't go to church. I said, okay, I understand. I just can't relate to that. And I wasn't being disrespectful or anything. He goes, what do you mean you can't relate? I said, I went through a divorce, and the reason why I got divorced would literally make your head spin. It was that traumatic. I said, but I didn't stop going to church. And so he took offense to that. He was like, well, you're just being judgmental. No. You asked me why I stated, that I couldn't relate. You could have dropped it there, but you didn't. So that told me a few things. One, it told me that you still are dealing with issues that you can't have an adult conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And then two, you want to come at me.
This is why I can't be the only man in the room. Y'all ain't about to attack us.
You want to come at me about you not going to church, and I've told you that I'm a born-again, spirit-filled Christian. I told you that I attend church regularly. I told you that I serve.
Because you're interested in me.
I told you that I serve, and you want to come at me and tell me you don't go, but you want to be a leader. How? So, typically what tends to happen in a separate situation with a female, he loves God. That's enough. That's not enough. And and that's the other piece too, answering your question earlier, when I know my purpose and I know what I'm supposed to be doing, then I have enough value in myself so that anything that doesn't compute, it doesn't come. And it doesn't come. It comes, but it gets instantly rejected. It's kind of like me trying to plug this charger into my phone. It just is not going to work. So I don't
never make it to the date because I can't get past the first phone call.
My thing now, what I do,
a lot of mine don't even make it to a phone call.
Literally,
now,
they don't even make it. Hello.
And I may be and this is my thing now. What I tell people when women ask, well, what should I do? Because clearly, you can look at it two ways. You can look at it as though this person is going through a divorce, they did something, or you can look at it as though this person chose to walk away from a certain type of situation, and now they're learning. I got married when I was 23 years old, so I was super young, you know what I'm saying, learning. Now I'm learning. The first red flag is for a man to say, well, what do you like in a man? I don't know. What are you looking for? I know when I see it. And the reason I do that is people.
So you don't try to go get that jacket and put it on.
Men and women. And because he convinced that it's just that we attacking men and women. Look for the cheat code. Tell me what you like so I can be everything you like for the first year.
Yeah.
And then once you're maybe 2 years, depending on who you are, once you're already invested, then it's like, okay, it's harder to get away because I'm already invested.
I found out about a
high school classmate of mine posted on Facebook last week. The girl, he said, I'm a grown man. Don't ask me what I like. I work because I like money. I eat because I like food.
Literally.
What? So I inboxed him. I said, why you want to just tell her what she like? Like, I'm joking. He like, why as a grown man should I tell a grown woman what I like? I said, she looking for a cheat code.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. Your character cannot bypass any cheat code. I don't care. I will tell you that I like chocolate underneath the arch on a Monday on a blanket. You can show up and do that. But if your character don't align, I don't care if you brought me the moon. Your character and your integrity,
that's why a lot
your
of
morals,
men ain't really
your morals, your belief system. If they're not aligned, I'll tell you what I like. And guys will ask me. And guys have asked me, what do you like? What do you like in a man? And I'll tell them, what are you looking for? Someone that can match my morals, my values, and my beliefs. About 99% of them, they end up just ghosting.
But then here's the question. What are your morals, your values, and your beliefs?
I'm not going to ask you. Oh, yeah, no, it's very much so. I believe in integrity. First of all, my morals, my values, and my beliefs align with the Word of God. So if you're already not there, I'm 44 years old. So I expect you to have lived the 44 years or more in the same space that I have. So you've had the options.
So you don't date younger men?
I do date younger men. So I'm just saying. But in that 44-year time span, you had the same opportunities and the same exposures that I have had. So you've made choices, and those choices are yours, and I'm not chastising you for them. But your morals, your characters, and your values is going to come in the words you choose, in the way that you carry yourself, in the way that you move, the way that you dress. I mean, all the way
You
down,
can
like
communicate without talking.
And I thought it was really funny. Like, I was going through TikTok, and it was supposed to be a joke about the type of nails women choose, and they had attributed to the French manicure to women who are extremely classy and elegant. And I started cracking up laughing because that's 98% of the nails that I typically wear are, French tips. So I'm just saying that who you are as a person does not get to get covered over because you're trying to manipulate someone. And in that manipulation, guess what's exposed? Your poor character.
Bingo.
Your lack of integrity.
You gotta pay attention. I tell y'all all the time. You gotta
all
pay
of that
attention.
is actually exposed over time. So it's not like
you ain't gonna know it tomorrow.
But
in some ways you can though.
Right.
You really
That's
can.
my thing.
It's
You can tell.
I'm gonna tell you some of the things that I missed before I even got to that point. So, like, after you fall in love with a person and y'all start, dating or whatever, y'all start to try to combine your lives together. So you're introducing each other to your family, your friends, and so forth. I ignored.
That's what I was. Thank you.
But
Thank you for saying it.
And the
Thank
family
you for
was
saying
saying
it.
like
I
that
did
whole.
Thank you for saying it.
I ain't never seen him treat no girl like he treats you. Bitch, that is not a compliment.
No,
and it's not meant to be.
That
And it's not meant to be.
I thought it was a compliment.
Yeah, because we didn't know when you didn't know
I'm gonna tell you
better.
this: what I've learned too, the thing that I disagree with most now is if a man doesn't respect his mother, he won't respect you. At first, I was like, "Dang, like that." Wait,
I would have to disagree
I'm getting
with
to
that.
that.
To an
Wait,
extent,
can I talk? Can I talk? At first, in my younger days, this is what was told to me. So I'm like, okay, well, let me look how. But we don't factor in the fact maybe he had a shitty mama. Like,
and in them cases, 9 times out of 10, if he had a shitty mama, it ain't gonna never be a woman.
Never.
That's gonna live up to what he feel like he deserved, because she didn't.
But this, and I say this to say, if you have somebody who wants to heal,
but I don't want
or
nobody who wants to heal.
work towards healing.
I don't want nobody that wants to
I'm
work
saying,
toward healing.
like, if that's the person,
I want someone that understands the healing.
That understands the healing.
When I say understand, that means they have moved
They
past
doing
it.
the work.
Because understanding healing is understanding that you're always in that cycle.
But
constant. If you're dealing with crap and you saying there's some things I gotta work on, bruh, go work. Go work. And if
Because I'm not understanding why you out here looking.
I had this conversation
my
earlier.
crackhead neighbor talking about I need a good woman in my life. No, you need rehab in your life.
I had this conversation earlier. A person told me that they knew somebody didn't deserve them and that they had to work on healing. So you didn't know that before you approached
You knew
this
that.
person.
You just wasted
You
their
wanted
time.
why bring her in? Then you like, oh well, I feel bad and I this. Man, fuck your feelings because you are bleeding on someone who didn't hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't cut you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I had this conversation earlier. But on the opposite end, I do not believe that if you go through 20 years of trauma, you're going to be completely healed in 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I do not believe that.
They
I look at healing
year of heartbreak. For every year of heartbreak, it takes you 1 month to get over it.
I look at healing like this.
About 2 years.
I look at healing like weight loss. You didn't gain them 50 pounds overnight. You're not gonna.
I was a size 9 last summer. I don't know what the hell happened.
But I feel like
Christmas
you're not
and
gonna
Thanksgiving.
lose it overnight. You're not gonna undo all that trauma from all these years overnight. But if you're willing to do the work,
and it's a constant.
if you're willing to get in there, and I don't mean just do it so you can get me to stay here and then go back. I mean, do the work.
But that's where the challenge would be. That though is that if they're in the middle of working, what's the incentive now that I'm in the relationship?
Yeah, no. When I was trying to work, it became more toxic.
Yeah,
and now you just. How the hell you make the marriage counselor toxic as well, and we trying to move forward? Like,
No. I went to marriage counseling. I went to toxic as fuck.
I quit.
This motherfucker was trying to fuck me.
I can see that. I can see.
Like, for real.
My husband, he gonna say, yeah, because she did. And what would you do? And that lady said, well, if I was a wife, I would do.
You're supposed to be an impartial party.
But
you're not supposed to say what I would do.
You giving advice on something you know absolutely nothing about.
And here's the thing, though, too. If you're meeting someone and they have, unloaded on you that they've experienced 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years of trauma, and they've recognized they've experienced trauma and that they're still working on it, why is that okay for you as an individual to be a part of that process?
But I'll say for black women, for one, we have been everybody's cleanup woman in this country. So we are used to sitting by
choices.
No.
Let me tell you why.
Since we have been in this country. Since we have been in this country, sir.
Let me tell you why.
I'm not talking about in the last 50 years where y'all feel like women have gotten choices. Since we have been in this country, we were wet nurses. You think we wanted to have white babies on our titties? That was not a choice. No, that's what we were made to do. Even the advancements that have been made in science and the medical industry have been made at the expense of black women. Henrietta Lacks. Like, literally, we have consistently been told, your trauma is not that bad. Shut up and take this extra load.
Oh. Yeah.
So
okay, I cannot argue at that point, but it's been before you've been in this country, because the slaves that were brought here were slaves wherever they came from.
Not all of them.
Not all of them, but majority of them.
No.
Yes, they were already slaves.
Of war. They were
same thing as slaves.
That's not the same thing.
That's
not the same thing.
When you take over a kingdom, the people in that city were slaves to that king.
So,
whoever won that war. That's the way it worked.
I will jump in on it and say, it's all the above. It was prisoners of war. Yes, it was, because I'm gonna be honest with you. If I got a kingdom and I got an issue with your tribe, and I see some Europeans looking for some help,
that's what they did.
Oh, I'm gonna say, listen here.
That's exactly what they did.
I'm gonna tell you where to find the people.
And that's
the
one part that I want us as a community to go ahead and let's have this conversation.
Wait.
That we're in this situation because of people that look like us.
But here's the thing: it's still happening today, though. Black folks selling
that's what I'm trying to say,
folks
the choice.
into slavery.
Because
man,
when you
they
say,
be like, come on home to Africa, no thanks. I know the shit I'm dealing with here. Baby, I come over there, you be like,
in my head,
but why I say it's a choice is because I had a conversation with a woman, and I asked her, I presented her with two different guys. A guy who has a career for himself, make about almost 6 figures, no kids, blah, blah, blah. The other guy I presented her with was a 2-time felon, about to get out of prison in a few months, so it's currently locked up. Like, I fucked the situation up. She said she would rather be with the guy in prison because she knows he needs her.
Not only that, not only does she know that he needs her, but she knows how to minister to him on his level, because that's where she is. You're not going to be able to take a woman that doesn't understand business, that doesn't understand how to move, that doesn't understand education, and put her in an arena. She's not going to be successful. Matter of fact, she's going to feel inferior. And she's going to experience self-esteem issues, and she's going to experience having to be in competition with someone.
The crazy part is the men in the room would actually prefer her.
The businesswoman?
No, the woman who wants that man out of prison.
Actually, that's the
that's the thing.
Not your.
That's the thing when you flip it around to where you say you don't pay attention, because we as men we have that weakness too, but we really don't want that.
Y'all don't
want to parade.
We want to play with it, but we don't want to. We'll fuck it. We don't want to wipe it. Just like the BBL.
Having kids by it.
Just like the BBL booty. We'll fuck the BBL, but we don't want to wipe the BBL.
A man that is disciplined and is successful in his business don't even want to play with it. They want a woman that does have her bank, that does have her bag, that does have her education, and is
she ain't
about
an
her business.
expense.
Because we're here.
liability.
Well, we
Because
gotta
a
fuck a
man
few of those
a
ratchets.
man that is
You don't.
disciplined, a man that is disciplined and successful isn't going to mess up his stuff with a
That's a
woman
fact.
who is not. She
Yeah.
cannot get on his level. There's
And then
no
women
way.
got to stop falling for potential and feeling like we can build a man up with our love.
Well, that's
we be feeling like we could love a man up out of his trauma, and
Men,
that is
men
not
have
the
the
case.
same thing
Wait a
because
minute.
instead of the potential, we have the other word. We have the pedestal. We put women
Yeah.
on this high pedestal. The first day we meet them, she's all this, she all this. We telling our homeboys, we just told our mama, our aunties, everybody. She this. The next day she don't answer your phone. Man, this bitch ain't shit. Because that pedestal.
The pedestal. It seemed like the hoes always end up there for some
the women
odd
Because
the
reason.
women that are promiscuous aren't up there because they are desired. They're up there because it's not a challenge.
It's attainable.
My esteem is so
It's
low.
attainable.
This is
My
true.
esteem is so low that I'm willing to work with you while you're working through your troubles. Let me be there for you. Because if I'm there for you through your struggles, it makes me feel better as a person because I'm struggling. So
Yeah,
you
about
struggling
mine.
and I'm struggling.
And a lot of us be doing that shit
I
because
can
it actually
halfway
keeps
see
us
that.
from doing what the fuck we need to be doing in our own lives because we are focusing on other people.
But in reality, from a man's standpoint,
That's why a lot of us
the
have
thing
babies.
with us is we're unbelievable. Like, we can't believe a woman like this want to be with me.
And again,
So she can take-
but it still falls into that level of compatibility. It's both ways. Like, as a businesswoman myself, as also a professional, I'm not stupid. I know, and this has nothing to do with, oh, I want a man to be making the same amount of money as I'm making to be respectful. No, to be respected. No, we can't converse. What do we have in common?
What are we talking about?
What are we doing?
said that yesterday on the
how
show.
can you move like
Gotta
I
have the
move?
conversation.
How you can support me and where I'm at? How do you understand and move through my stresses? Yes, we can have the conversation, but can you have the empathy?
And that's where a lot of them will tend to try to knock you down a few pegs if they feel like, well, I can't.
Men are guilty
meet
of
you
that.
Here, so I'm gonna
Men
bring
will
you
break
down
you the
here.
fuck down.
At the
to-
end,
That's how
to
I
where you at.
determined that I didn't want to interracially date.
I'm scared.
I'm not.
So I was. So I
Ooh,
was.
She fed me.
So
Good.
I was. I find this a lot because I have a big thing about. I'm never going to minimize myself again to make someone feel bigger. I'm never going to be put in a position to where you don't understand me, so you invalidate my feelings and make me feel like I'm just doing too much. And that goes for anything. So I was dating this guy. We had been talking off and on since I was like 17 years old. But you don't realize the type of person you're dealing with until you get older. And it, like you said, you met him in second grade. You didn't realize until he had been through some shit and you had been through some shit, the type of person you were dealing with. So I'm the type of person, I'm musically inclined. So I can hear a beat. And I love the beat. Now I don't know the words to the song until I've already learned the beat, and by the time that
I'm
happens,
singing
you've
some
already caught my attention. So I'm like, shoot, it's just words. So we were listening to Shabuya, Shabu, and it put in my mind where we were on the playground, the beat when I first heard it. So when he heard the song, he was like, "This some ghetto bullshit." And it's the word. And for me, I was like, what? He was like, it is. I said, do you know how? I said, take apart the lyrics and just listen to the beat. Do you know where the beat came from? He was like, I don't give a fuck because it's some ghetto bullshit. And this is a person who surrounds themselves with
Ghetto
black
bullshit.
people. Like, all of your friends, for the most part, up until a certain point, have always been black. So when he said it, I kind of like looked at him sideways. If we can't be on the same page as far as music, something so small, we could never be on the same page as far as corruption in the judicial system, political injustice when it comes to black people. You know what I'm saying?
So
like,
do you date based off of political affiliation?
I don't, but because I don't have a specific political affiliation, I don't give a. That's another topic. I could go on and on about that. But my thing is, if you can't empathize with me when, what's his name? I can't think his name. He was killed in the car. He told them, that he had his gun
Philanders.
Philander Castile.
Mm-hmm.
I was separated from my ex, and I was dealing with somebody else at the time. When that happened, I called my ex crying. And he like, what you crying for? I said, we have a young black son. And this is the world that we have to raise him up in. Where he's automatically assumed to be a criminal. Just based off the fact of how he looks. That's why I'm big on when people used to tell my kids, oh, they too cute to get a whooping. Or they too cute to be chastised. Don't do that. Because the world don't see them as that. My son is light-skinned with curly hair down his back. With braids. Now, the world automatically sees my son as a threat. I can't be with somebody that literally does not understand that. I can't present the example to my son that one mess up, his dad, just discards me completely. So now you gotta move to another. To me, that's what it shows. If I leave, you don't know nothing but your daddy, a black man, and I completely bring a white man in your house. To me, that shows him he's not good enough, and one fuck up can just make him feel completely inferior. I do not want to do that to my kid. My kid, he internalizes everything. Taught my son that in your parents' absence, that other person will mistreat you. So he just rather I not date at all. He's 10, by the way. So that's why I can't date outside my race. I need somebody to be able to understand me when shit like that happens. I need to be able to cry on your shoulder without you looking at me like, what you crying for? Like, what's, you know what I mean?
For me, it's the whole, you know, we deal with passive-aggressive racism on a day-to-day basis. I don't want to have to explain that or try to justify what I'm feeling because of that situation with you, because you don't see it. You don't know it because it doesn't exist in your world. So when I tell you this lady, I saw her say hello to every woman, every person that she checked out in this line before me. But when I get to the line, she don't say shit. She just start bringing my groceries. And when I say it's because I'm black, I need you to say she did do that because I saw her. I don't need you. Oh no, she just was having a bad day. Maybe you didn't hear her or something like. I need you to have the same experience in life. Like right now, it's a white guy interested in me, and I know he's interested in me. He's younger than me too, so there's that. But 3, I was raised by Malcolm X Jr. My daddy been in the Nation of Islam since I was 13. Like, it's a lot of stuff that I've been told about. Like, for y'all, a black man, you can go date a white girl and come back. But me as a black woman, dating black men, if I go and date a white man and then come back and date black men, a lot of black men, even though they'll do it and come back just fine, they don't want a black woman who has dealt with a black man. And also, it's so many different cultural.
But see, that's kind of the like, to be told that is, because it was the same thing for us. If we were seen with a white girl, the black girls talked bad about us.
Yeah.
So the guys couldn't come back from that shit either.
Yeah, now I would date absolutely outside of my race. White, Pacific Islander, Hispanic.
Anybody who loves me.
Anybody who meets my morals, my values, and my belief system. Yeah, absolutely. Because my thing is, I'm not going to entertain a white guy that can't empathize with the oppression black people went to. Obviously, there were some white people that stood alongside Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and the rest of them, and some that still stand to this day. I'm like, yes, y'all, that's just sideways. So they're there. It's just, for me, it is you matching all these things. I ain't gonna be fooling with nobody, black or white, that can't empathize with my struggle. You know, I have 2 black boys, so I understand that black people as a whole since the Israelites were enslaved has been looked at as a threat and has been dealt with accordingly to that threat. And so I don't dismiss it. I have the same conversation with my black sons, and I'm pretty sure you as black moms have had with your sons. Like, listen, A, B, C, and D, just know that's what's up. And I've had conversations with my black daughters, because black women are not, they're not dismissed, or they don't get to escape the stereotype of black women either. But if I'm going to be with,
shoot and kill us too.
Yeah, and I'm not going to, and not just shoot and kill. I think this is another conversation that we don't typically have, is in the workplace. A black man can walk through the door with his suit and tie, and is at level. A black woman cannot walk through the door with her shirt, suit, and tie, and be at level. So, oh yeah.
Wait. Suit, skirt suit? Or
what I'm saying is, my suit and tie.
You can't be.
No. From the conversation, in reality, no. I have to prove or show that I am as whitewashed.
And you gotta put up with and deal with more shit
saying
than
a black
everybody
woman?
else.
I'm just saying that. No. Well, the hierarchy goes white man, black man, white woman, black woman. When you look at just those two races.
I actually had an article written on me some years ago about how women in their respective workplaces make significantly less than men.
Yeah, on paper, you're right. On paper, absolutely. But visually, in the office, women run them bitches.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, in certain
less
not
than what a man would.
On paper, it's a fight.
That one stat was taken across all jobs. When you go into the office workspace, they are pretty comparable. When you start to move away from white collar into blue collar, it does start to.
That's when you start to see dramatically.
The shift. Yeah.
The women are the secretaries in the white collar
because a black man can walk in and his stature just if he's hired for a certain position, he walks in there respected for that position. A black woman hired for that same position has to prove that she is capable of being there. I've seen this happen. Or you have the people that they like you as long as they can speak to you a certain way. As long as they
like you, as long as you don't have ambition. If you know how to play your role,
it's the other role.
Or they say things that they say things that are offensive, and when you take it like that, oh, you're over exaggerating, or you're doing too much. She didn't mean it like that. Or when it's literally like, goes back to feelings. You can't tell me how I should feel because they're my feelings. So if a person says something and to me it's offensive, perspective, that's my feelings. You learn this in MAT training. You're not supposed to treat a person how you want to be treated. You treat them how they want to be treated. Because I can feel so low about myself that I feel like I deserve to be treated wrong. Do that mean it gives me a right to treat somebody else wrong because I feel like I should be treated wrong? No. So when you're in a workplace and certain things trigger us as black women. When they do the girlfriend and oh girl, your nail, like, and they change up their tone, and it's like, girl,
that's women. They ain't got nothing.
And then I also think it's like depending upon the workplace too. My biggest issue was always dealing with I had one administrator that I had dealt with literally question my degree. And I'm just like, I'm pretty sure you don't have this conversation with anybody else, And so it is just one of those things where I respect where I'm at, and knowing that I have to show you before you believe me, and that's essentially what I'm saying. So for me, it is them wanting to test a boundary of, is she going to cuss me out if I push at her, or is she going to handle this in a professional manner? And if she handles it in a non-professional manner, see, just another mad black woman ready to cuss anybody out, whoever, moves sideways.
Y'all gotta get in another industry, I swear.
But
y'all seen that movie Wolf of Wall Street?
Yeah, but here's the thing though. In order for women in general to move in that space, and it's not to say that women cannot. I don't know what the percentage is, but I know it's pretty high, if not equal, that women are the ones that owns the businesses, that have the higher education, that are in the CEO and higher level positions. But she didn't get there because she walked through the door with a master's degree. So she had to walk through the door. And so women are naturally, like, compassionate. So if I'm dealing with a superior and they come to me and they said, hey, Rachel, this, that, and the third was off. And I was like, okay, I can do this, that, and the third. This is the solution to fix this situation, and I can approach it that way. Or, hey, Rachel, this, that, and the third was off. I can then process that and say, I just know he didn't just come at me like that.
Workplace etiquette is definitely a whole conversation in
but
itself.
Some workplaces,
workplace etiquette. But I'm just saying, industry-wise, because my background is in finance. No matter which institution it was, if I was with A.G. Edwards, Primerica, Wells Fargo, Regis Bank, it was all the same thing. Beast, it's the beast in you. Women always ran that because they had the beast. I had a female manager all consistently because they had beast in them.
But
not saying men wasn't in the positions, but when I walked through that door, I couldn't just put on the suit and be respected. I had to prove myself with the numbers on the paper, and it didn't matter skin color, because the Arab dude got promoted before me, the female, white female, the black female, all of them got all put up before me. Mm-hmm. And I just had to prove myself. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Sometimes I
hear that as well. And I will add to that, though, it shouldn't be a necessity for a woman to be beast. That's not naturally within her nature to do so. So she's having to.
Well, if she's in that industry, it's her nature, damn it.
It shouldn't be.
Shit. If you trade stocks, you definitely a beast.
Because there's always there's always a finesse in business that women should take and master. Because it's a finesse that men cannot bring to the table. Mm-hmm. And if I'm always constantly in that masculine beast mode, I can't finesse like I need to finesse.
Beastly in a woman way, though.
Yeah.
Beastly in a woman way.
Some of your
So where's this whole conversation from of men don't care about women and their degrees and how much money they make? Because when they do have all of that, that leads them to not see value in having a man.
But that comes from a man who doesn't have value to begin with.
Y'all gotta talk about it's like the Zodiac conversation. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Some people believe in that shit, some people don't.
Yeah.
But the thing is, there are similarities. So the type of woman that has all those things, they have similar type of personalities. And we not just like the stereotype or the persona of the loud black woman. Has a certain look. If you walk in with Afro puffs, you're a loud black woman. Mm-hmm. You can be the sweetest thing on the world, but your look says one thing about you. So it's the same thing about all them women who got all those things. It's a trait that they, you know what I'm saying? It's a similarity trait in all of them.
Is it a trait or it is an inability? Is it a trait or is it a lack of skill to be able to transition or to be able to fluidly move between?
I feel like it's like what you've been conditioned to, because to make it, anybody, male, female, any race, to make it to a certain status in life, you got to pull something out you.
Yes, and then you got to be able to put it back. You got to be able to put it, and that's one thing I think that Paul meant in the Bible when he said that I know how to abase and I know how to abound. I know how to shut that sucker off, and I know how to turn that sucker on.
But to some degree, it's no shut off. Like you say, when you meet
for
somebody,
women,
there's certain things you're not going to accept.
Okay, that's a boundary. There's a boundary. No. There's a boundary that says, in order for me, because I cannot be responsible for your manipulative actions, because I don't know you. So in order for me to make sure that I am self-loving, valuing me, I have a boundary. I either jump over that sucker. I mean, I have a standard. I'm sorry. It's a standard. I have a standard.
That's what it
either
is.
Jump over that sucker or go turn around and walk the other way. Now, that's different than me as the essence of a woman. If I'm going to operate and move in business and then be in the professional arena, I need to also know how to operate in love compassion and nurturing as my man and my kids need me to be. Because I'm speaking for myself and women like me, I know how to abase and I know how to abound. I know how to be strong when I need to be strong. I know how to make the tough decisions that need to be made, and I know how to come home and serve. And I know how to come home and love. And I know how to be compassionate.
Don't use submission on this.
Well, because submission isn't I lay down. Submission isn't I lay down and die for you.
So much power
submission,
in submission. I don't even think people realize it.
Submission isn't a lay down and die at your behest. Mm-hmm. Submission is I trust you and you only. I'm loyal to you and you only, and I'm going to sow into you as you sow into me. Because we keep talking about the submission piece of it, but we forgot that there is the same submission requirement of men for them to only be to their wives. So submission is happening on both sides.
You got to trust it.
But for the men that are saying, well, I don't want no woman, I don't care about her degrees and this, that, and the third, they're either A, broke, and B, don't have a value for themselves.
No. That's the opposite of what I'm saying. I'm saying they see that woman that has all of the degrees, and like you say, you have standards. Men can walk down the street and recognize you got standards. I can fuck her by buying her a Happy Meal. So I'm gonna go on here and get this Happy Meal pussy.
And I like that perspective. I like that perspective. It's not that I'm afraid of your degree. I gotta work.
Now they want to come back to
there's somebody over here who make me work.
You gonna hold me accountable?
And
it doesn't make me work a little harder than I want to work.
And then you talking about every men have a thing. You don't like a man to lead. Every man is not equipped to lead. If I had a man once. You don't like to follow a man. I asked, where we going? I'll let you know. Look,
where the fuck you leading me?
I asked the man that. I said, you want me to be? I said, you want me to be submissive. You want me to be submissive. You want me to let a man lead. Can I at least know where we going? I don't know yet. I'll let you know. Well, look,
but here's the thing, though.
Because I'm going to have to use the bathroom.
You can be leading me into a brick wall, so I'm just supposed to blindly follow you until you determine where we're going.
But here's the thing, though. If here's the thing, though.
I don't pick men.
But here's the thing, though.
Listen, I do turn down, but I definitely don't turn me down. I ain't. What?
And I got receipts, too.
Baby, when I say I am mean... I was called. I made a post. I made a post that said, "What villain?" Because Halloween is my favorite holiday. I said, "What villain should I be for Halloween?" A guy inboxed me. He said, "You already Michelle Myers." I feel like women get so comfortable being accessible, and you feel like, "Oh, he's picking me." No, you're accessible. There's a difference.
Mm-hmm. And that's because women also identify attention. Attention is love, but they're identifying the wrong attention as love.
Yeah, like
damn
it, they about to cut y'all off. I swear to God, I didn't find out until she came. No, the show can only go so long.
Last week we had it where we were in a deep conversation.
I was like, damn,
and they cut us off.
I'm like, fuck, I didn't even know it did that.
Like,
yeah, I found out the hard way. You have a 3-hour limit. The show was over an hour ago.
We've been talking, so we just been talking.
Yeah.
But it was good. Oh, well, Facebook got all this good tea.
Oh, yeah, Facebook got it all. Well, we got about 10 minutes before the program cuts the podcast.
So what was the question that you said you wanted
I'm going to let y'all go in on men.
No, and tell you what, I don't. I'm going to say, I absolutely don't. Yeah, because I feel like men are not treasured enough. Men are not valued enough. That's
another conversation.
And the problem is that we have men who wasn't taught how to be men. And I'm a single mother, so I'm saying this as a single mother of boys. I can't teach my boys to be men. The only thing I can do is teach my boys to be the man that I want to marry. That's what I can do. But what we have is a situation where men a lot of men didn't get the opportunity to have that. They didn't get the opportunity to have strong role models, give them the tea. And on top of that, they did not have anyone to really, from what I understand, men do really well with consequences. And something we women do really badly.
They do well with consequences and competition.
Yes, but
we also live in a society that the basics aren't acceptable. The worst thing, I tell people all the time, do not tell my son that boys don't cry.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen is he's going to internalize, what's going to happen?
Men cry.
Is he's going to internalize their emotions. It's like it's like a volcano.
I mean, that's what's wrong with our thing.
Well, okay, men can cry, just not in front of their woman.
Yes, no. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. If a man cannot cry, in front of his women, he needs to let her go and walk away.
I was just about to say he needs to let her go.
Man I done had cried.
I cannot stand women that weaponize a man's emotional state. He cool when he crying when you're right there, but then when y'all break up or y'all have a disagreement, get your crybaby ass. You was just crying. I don't like that.
Because men are just as emotional, if not more, as women.
They are. That's
and
why
so
they
we're saying that it's okay to have an extremely dysregulated emotion, anger, but it's not okay for you to have an emotion called sadness when you are impacted by something. Your ability to demonstrate how this made you feel. But we're willing to accept you cussing me out, though. I'd rather you, and that's essentially what we as women are saying. I'd rather you cuss me out. I'd rather you, and I have met men where I could tell that's how you've always communicated in your relationships. Mm-hmm. Because when I come at you and trying to have these types of, you respond better if I ignore you or if I bark at you. I'm like, I ain't got time for that. That is childish.
I as a woman, I want my man to feel comfortable crying to me, and I'm not gonna use that against him. It's the yelling at me, demeaning me, and then making me cry. I ain't doing none of that, because now you've disturbed my peace. You can go about your way.
That's literally what dating is competing against.
I'd literally rather I'd rather you sit here and we have a conversation and we talk about our issues. And if you gotta cry. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna cry. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want you to make me feel bad. I don't want you to make me feel bad, and I'm not going to make you feel bad. And I feel like we have a society of men, and this is over 30, 40, 50, 60 years of trauma, and you're not supposed to cry. You're not supposed to show emotion.
As a man, part of that is true.
It's not.
Yeah, no, and I can appreciate and respect that, because when masculinity is taught that it's supposed to be strong no matter what, and tears are seen as weakness. And I tell you what, as someone who I didn't deal with my emotions very well, and I had to eventually learn how to. I used to see that crying was weakness, and I refused to let anybody see me cry. And I have since learned that that's stupid. That is weakness, not to let someone see me cry, but know that when these tears are wiped away, I'm going to handle you.
Well,
and if you weaponize my tears, then that means you somebody I need to dismiss from my life.
Well, I mean it's more as a what do you call it? Poetical way. You know what I'm saying? Like this way, reasons and ways to be crying. You like
no, that's not
men be whining. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's not crying, though.
Yeah,
whining is not crying.
They be
it's
out
not
here
solution oriented.
But I don't even let a child.
I ain't even gonna say cry. It's not crying. They be bitching. That's what
I'm
it is.
trying. Yeah,
it's not that I actually have a reason for expressing this feeling, and so I'm expressing this feeling now, so I can come with resolution afterwards. No, they be up here bitching and complaining about some shit that they have no intent on changing, fixing, or anything.
Here's my thing.
So now you're crying.
If you go,
I'm talking about the guy who cheats on you with 10 women, and then when he find out you got a text message from somebody, flip the fuck out. That kind of shit, like, there's no reason why tears should be coming from your face.
There is a reason. No, there is a reason for tears to be flowing. You just hurt me. You just damaged my ego, and that's valid. But you have to understand that, and that's one thing I think people have a hard time understanding. He can do his dirt, and he can come back and still have his ego bruised because you bruised his ego. Those are two separate entities. Now, let's deal with that. I'm sorry that you got your ego bruised, but what you cannot do, because at the very point I knew you cheated, I should have been the adult and walked away.
Exactly.
But if I'm going to sit in a situation and then come back and hurt you, I can't get mad that then you're hurt. I'd set out to hurt you. So now you are hurt. But
what I mean about men crying, if you have a man, if you have a man and he's the sole provider, or he may earn more, and he go to work, and he get mistreated at work, but he knows I can't lash out, I can't do this because I still have a family to provide for. So he comes home to you as his woman and he vents, and in the middle of him venting, he cries. That's acceptable. It is wrong as a
again,
woman.
it still depends on
Wait
how.
Wait a minute. No.
It still depends.
It don't.
If he's talking about Terry took my lunch out the room,
If
and I came here, I was man, you better
That's
smack
not
the
what
shit
I'm
out of his
saying.
ass.
But
to
here's
make him
no,
sound.
but if
That's
you're a
not what I'm
crier,
saying.
Straight up.
That's not what I'm saying. Listen, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if he comes home and he cries to you, that's his outlet. That's so that he don't go to work and blow everybody up or shoot everybody up. He's coming to you and he's crying because that's his outlet.
But he can't
Now,
do it every day.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, you can.
Wait a minute. Why not?
With me, my man can.
Why
No.
not? With me, mine
You better
can.
start healing.
Baby, I
With
don't wanna
me,
hear
that's
that
not
shit.
healing.
You better
If
take
you're
a day
going-
off or something.
That's not
You
healing.
can
If you
get
go
3
to a
days out the
toxic
week. That's
work
max.
environment, if you go to a toxic work environment and you're forced
need a
to
new
wait
job.
a minute.
Come on.
You're forced
Literally.
to choose.
But here's
Wait a
the- 'cause
minute.
I'm not
Let
finna
me
be
finish.
doing it.
You're forced to choose between having food on your table
Yes,
and
choose.
addressing this in an aggressive manner.
Because my
So you
faith
do
is so
all you
strong
know.
and my
so you
God
do,
that
that's
he
fine.
is
But
not
but-
gonna make me
but
go
let me
nowhere
tell you
every
this.
day that I gotta
But let me
cry.
tell you this.
He
At
gonna
sometimes
provide me
your-
with another
but at
job to take
sometimes-
care of my
but
family.
At sometimes, but
Baby, I'll quit a job in a heartbeat.
You gotta
that's
come home
fine.
and cry over the
That's
fried
fine,
chicken.
but when you got a family to feed, that's different.
Look,
So my
listen.
point is, if you come to me and as your woman, you vent, you cry, because you know you gotta walk into this place at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning with them same assholes with a straight face. I'm wrong if we get in an argument 6 months down the line. I'd be like, bitch, you was just crying 6 months ago.
But
you
no,
right.
from that
But what I'm
standpoint,
saying
though, is I see what you're saying. So I agree. But when I say you can cry to me every day, obviously don't bring me the same issue every day.
I mean,
Okay.
But
Yeah.
if
Okay,
today
okay.
you're crying over macaroni, and I'm obviously not let me be serious.
Yeah.
So
If
they
today
sold
you're
your
crying over me
macaroni
over
today,
work,
but it's chicken
tomorrow you're having an issue with maybe something didn't work out right, and your natural expression is to express your stress through tears. That's completely different than crying about the.
That's my job.
Yeah, you know.
I don't feel like that either. I
That's
don't
my
believe that.
job. No, because
Yes.
see, this the whole thing. Like for me, for me to be a woman, I need to trust that if peril comes my way and
How you gonna
I
protect
can't
you if you
handle it,
crying?
my man gotta handle it. But if I look up and this
He
nigga over here
crying.
crying, like, why?
I feel like
But
that's
why
You
do we-
crying while
but
somebody
we-
breaking
no,
in.
but why do we?
But here's the situation: crying does not take away the capability of you being a
Being able to
protector,
make this, yes.
nor a provider.
You can't see through
I'm gonna
my
tell you
eyes.
that.
Yes, you can.
I'm
You know why?
prove that
Because
point
here's the
right
thing.
now.
Because you know, in that moment, either we all gonna die, or I can risk my life for
Because
my
what?
family.
Because
Let
what
me-
I'm.
let
That's
me-
completely
let me
different
prove this
than
point
being in
for
an
you.
uncontrollable situation. So this is how I'm venting to you as a man.
Let me prove to you. I'm a Taurus. So
That's
you
why
know,
we
like a
date.
bull, you gotta stab him 1,000 times before he get to attacking you. That's exactly how I am. I can take 1,000 punishment. If you ever see me crying,
It's danger.
that's because I'm
It's
so
danger.
angry.
But-
I don't know what else to do but to fuck somebody
But that's
up,
the
and that's
problem,
what's
though.
coming
That's
next.
But that is the problem. You're psychologically, your tears literally
Are warning you.
helps to release the cortisol that built up in your system. That's why you're stressed. That's why you're angry. You built up cortisol. Your tears
okay.
literally works to dispel that from your body. So I would be remiss
dispel
as a
some other
woman
shit,
to
too.
say, hey, you as a man, you can't let that go. You must bottle it up until you explode. I don't love you if I let you do that. Now, if you over here crying and you ain't solving a daggum thing, yeah, nigga, go somewhere else.
Yes, thank you.
And that's-
All right,
that's-
we got 2 minutes left.
That's it.
I want to dive in. I'm gonna let y'all hate on the man just a little bit.
Nobody is hating on the man. We have
What
we've clearly addressed men and women. But go ahead.
Okay. So, help the men out with finding some lovely ladies. What are the red flags that make y'all run away?
Have your basics together.
For me, the red flags for me is, well, I have a really weird one, but if you try to date a teacher, make sure your spelling and your punctuation
Absolutely.
and your sentences, maybe just an educated,
Spelling is a
but
requirement.
I
Basic English and
Boy.
understanding comprehension.
Boy,
Okay.
a dude
That'll go
literally text me on an app and had 0 capital letters, not a comma, not a period. No. I'm like, no.
Does that really matter though?
Yeah.
Okay.
To a teacher, it does.
Yes.
To a teacher, it does.
I'm not a
because
teacher,
this is what you do
still.
every day. I went on my page and said this. A girl posted a scenario. The scenario was, is it appropriate for a man to provide, and I'm paraphrasing, is it appropriate for a man to provide babysitting arrangements and or dinner for a child of a woman he's dating? Hold on. Is it appropriate? Is it appropriate? They was like, yeah, that's not his responsibility. That shouldn't be a requirement. Nobody asked that. They're saying, is it appropriate? What she's saying is, and I had to explain this to people. If I am a man wanting to date you and you say you don't have a babysitter, but your auntie will watch the kids, but I don't have the $200, but she'll watch it. Is it appropriate for him to say, I'll pay for it as long as she'll watch it? Why is that not?
I don't think so, because I don't think it's, for me as a single mom, now that I got to keep